powerhouse small-town conferences clash tonight in Centerburg. Welcome to the heart of Ohio for this Division 6 Region 23 barn burner between the top-ranked KMAC champion Centerburg Trojans and the number 5 Northern 10 co-champions, the Colonel Crawford Eagles. Have you ever heard the phrase, an unstoppable force versus an immovable object? Well, that's these two teams in a nutshell here today. On both sides of the ball, these two programs are the best of the best, hence why they meet here at a time such as this. A regional semifinal, and it's coming your way, live and free on the OH Report.
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain Trane heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 419-529-2738, your local Trane comfort specialist.
Farmall. 100 years of can-do. 100 years of milestones. 100 years of family. Generation after generation, its legacy lives on. The one for all since 1923.
I'm Steve Krall, president of First Federal Community Bank. And here at First Federal Community Bank, our playbook consists of the 3 C's: care, curiosity, and courage. Just like your team, our 3 C's strengthen our communities and our team here at First Federal Community Bank. On behalf of our team here at First Federal, we want to wish all of our area teams and coaches the best of luck this season. Yes!
From primary care to orthopedics, women's health, to pain management, the Knox Community Hospital Centerberg Health and Wellness Center provides excellent care for virtually all your family's healthcare needs. Comprehensive lab services are also offered at our state-of-the-art facility. Podiatry and surgical consultations too. The Centerberg Health and Wellness Center. It's a world of great care right around the corner.
Indians and the away Colonel Crawford Eagles. This is a matchup here between the K-Mac and the N10. Not that far apart. A lot of people are looking forward to this one. Howard goes in motion. He'll go into the slot here. They'll hand it on the counter to McMichael. Burst through the line into the second level and into the end zone. Connor McMichael, 31 yards to the house.
He got guys out front, just a great scene. He barely got touched at all. And once he broke the line of scrimmage, it was off to the races. McMichael outrunning everybody. Get a good look at the adjustments that Crawford is going to make defensively. And there it is. They have 5 defensive linemen in the game.
Well, he'll go under center. This time he'll hand it off. This is hard. Trying to get the edge. Colonel Crawford contains John Degray. Met him with the force. Tackle for loss. And it's 4th down here for Mount Gilead.
But still, he's very athletic, so he can chase guys down.
Well, John Degray will be blocked. It's Chrisman with the, or no, it's Kramer with the block.
But it doesn't matter.
And Crawford's going to have it at the 22-yard line. Walker, Kramer.
Just a great job. Kramer just split the 2 guys. And he was all over it. Did a great job of getting his hands up in case he missed it. And so he wouldn't run into the kicker, but just shoot. He blocked it with his elbow.
Summerlot and Weithman on the outside. They're going to give it to the guy, Connor McMichael. Touchdown number 2. And Colonel Crawford extends the lead 13-0.
Got 2 tight ends now. They're in the T formation.
His job's to just seal the edge, right? He'll give it inside and just corralled at the 17 and stuffed. Walker Kramer in there again, and Caden Carpenter, the big guy, in there on the tackle. That up and right immediately to the line. And Holt's going to throw, but he's going to be chased, and he flips it out to Connor McMichael, who turns it up over the 40, tiptoes down the sideline, and ran out of bounds at the 46. Nice to the right here for the Eagles. Connor McMichael in the backfield. They'll roll out to the right, and on the run, it's caught. There's the star-studded wide receiver, Parker Weithman, jumping over defenders. Parker Weithman. Dare we say it?
Well, he booted out. He gave a little boot action. He had all kinds of room to run. I thought he might run it, but then all of a sudden it was a flood look, so he had it. Then Weithman shows true athleticism, hurdles the guy, stays in bounds. 53 yards later, this is 20-0.
8. What could be the last play here of the first quarter? Harr bounces it back in, but he's going to be next
get it outside
at the 12. And still only a 2-yard pickup there, Tim. Payne Degray in there on the tackle, and that indeed will take us to the end of the first quarter, where it was completely dominated by the Colonel Crawford Eagles.
But yeah,
they will run it away, and this is not good at all. This is shanked. This might be a net of a yard.
So
nope, to the 45.
He didn't kick it very far.
6 yards. Baker fakes it, looking out, long. Here he is, but it's going to be a short pass. Burkhart, Weithman, unbelievable. The star-studded wide receiver, 1 of 1, Parker Weithman.
You know, here's the replay. Baker put way too much air under it. 2 is all over him, interfering. Weithman tips it to himself. 27-0.
Fricky to throw, heaves it long down the right side, and just overthrown. Out of the reach there. Extracurricular activity going on. Nice. Got a full splash there. Fricky will roll to the left. Being chased, Harr makes the catch and then runs out of bounds, and the clock hits 0. And that'll end the first half. Complete domination by the Colonel Crawford Eagles. The N10 came to play here tonight.
Watch a possible draw here. Nope.
Right over the middle, Weithman on the slant, and he is off to the races.
You ain't gonna catch.
You're not gonna catch.
You're not
1 of 1. Parker Weithman to the house, his 3rd touchdown reception of the night, 70 yards. And now we'll have a running clock here from Mount Gilead. Zizzo's extra point is good.
Well, they're pretty athletic, so
he'll get down the right side, across midfield, down the sideline.
He may go.
Payton Baker,
he gets
is he going to take it to the house? He gets the block and finds the end zone.
What a couple blocks. Dom Dean, oh my gosh, what are they going to do?
Rookie to throw, looking long down the middle.
Again.
Summerlot, caught, touchdown. Hayden Summerlot gets Mount Gilead on the board. Colonel Crawford moving on here in the Ohio High School Athletic Association State.
The Heart of Ohio plays host to a regional quarterfinal. The Trojans are the 1 seed in Division 6 Region 23. They take on the 9th-seeded Ridgewood Generals. Defense gave up just 177 yards last week to Newcomerstown. They didn't let those Trojans score until the 4th quarter. Blaine Ball looking for his deep ball man in Hayden Love. No, incomplete. That'll make it a 3 and out for Centerburg to start. You'd have to go back a long way before the opponent was the first to score in a Centerburg game. McQueen to Tolliver. He'll topple into the end zone.
Just handing it off to the big fella right up the middle to finish off this really impressive drive there by the Generals.
In danger of another 3 and out. 3rd down and 11 on the 34. Another motion play, ball looking towards Marshall. They'll go down the field yet again. Hayden Love has beat the safety. He makes the catch in the red zone. He's down at the 16. Quick snap, they'll go to Marshall, and the C opens to the end zone. Just needed that one big play, Payton.
Yeah, they just need a little bit of momentum to go their way, and that offensive line on that scoring play right there, able to open everything up for Marshall to basically walk into the end zone.
Move the back in motion. Israel waiting for a potential screen. Collapsing pocket, running out of it and slipping is Jace McQueen. He'll go to the original line of scrimmage, but it will be a 3 and out. We'll go right back to Miles Marshall, a 17-yard carry in his last handoff. This will be enough for a first down. It'll go for 13. And Disiani moves into motion. Marshall with the handoff yet again. He'll cut past 3 defenders. Nearly had himself in the end zone, but he is right at the 5. Chains move again. We won't need him now. Back to Marshall they go. He will trot in. He's got another score right in front of the Red Army.
That Centerburg offensive line was just too good on that drive. Weren't able to kind of get any foothold on defense.
Staying with that wing formation. Carnes in motion, fumble, ball comes out, it's scooped up by Centerburg. Hayden Love, the heads-up play as he was looming in the secondary, and all of a sudden that ball just came right at him. McQueen turns the corner again. He thought about throwing. He actually tossed it back. This is going to get thrown. What a trick play, and Carnes, is he going to take it the distance? Yes, he is. I mean, are you kidding me? Ridgewood, a potential chance to tie as Carnes looks to be down a little bit. Yeah, you saw the pitch. And then Lockhart launches one down the field. Nobody there for Centerburg. That is a beautiful play out of Ridgewood. Some trickery to go up against this #1 team in the region. 121 and counting here for the Trojans to try and take the lead back. Give it back to Miles. Breaks through. Breaks a tackle as well, goes to the far sideline. He stays up on his feet for the end zone. It's a 3rd touchdown today for Miles Marshall.
Yeah, I thought maybe there for a second, number 14, Jace McQueen was going to be able to make the play on this. Maybe force him out of bounds, but Marshall able to just tiptoe his way up the sidelines in for another Centerburg score.
And this is how we will go to the halftime locker room. Centerburg leads it 20-14. Great 1 versus 9 contest here in Division 6, Region 23. Empty backfield for McQueen, collapsing pocket, able to get past a couple, but he is ultimately taken down by the Trojan defense. Quick snap, quick throw as well. This ball deflected and picked. Scooped up by Jace McQueen, quarterback on quarterback crime. McQueen dropping back to pass, lost the football, has to catch it again. And the stop made by Centerburg. They're looking his way again. This ball underthrown. Here's 3rd down and 15. Stepping up in the pocket. He has to go. Went past the line of scrimmage, and he's eaten up Tommy Haas. Keeps him way short of even the original line of scrimmage. Blaine takes the snap. Gives it, or no, keeps it himself, and he's got some room, but he ran right into the last defender, as it looks like McQueen will tuck him down around the 15-yard line.
He may have ran into McQueen at the very end of this run, but look at him keep those legs driving. Pulled McQueen another 5 or 6 yards downfield.
Miles fed again. Touchdown Trojans. It is a 4th today for Miles. Tommy Haas comes to join in, and it looks like they nearly got to him initially, and now they still make the stop. Centerburg football as you look at this play again.
Yeah, even with that extra effort that the Ridgewood running back gave, it's too little too late. The whistle had already been blown.
They'll knee it right at the 30, and Blaine Ball watches his offense cheer on this Centerburg fan base that has been desperate for a home playoff win. Coach Colella looks like he's going to deliver it tonight. They get 10 wins on the season after this one tonight. 28-14, they win it over Ridgewood to take on the winner of Colonel Crawford and Mount Gilead elsewhere.
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain Trane heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 419-529-2738, your local Trane comfort specialist.
It is time now for your Webb's Marathon and Automotive pregame show here from the heart of Ohio. My name is Jonathon Langdon alongside Payton Colopy. Payton, it is the second week of November, and we're blessed to still be able to be doing this as we've got two great programs on the field tonight as Centerburg takes on Colonel Crawford in a Division 6 Region 23 matchup.
Yeah, both Colonel Crawford and Centerburg both have really strong programs this year. I've now seen Centerburg. I think this is the fourth game this year. I have yet personally to see Colonel Crawford, but with a team like this, you hear so much about them, it feels like you're at every single game.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and get you up to speed on Colonel Crawford, Payton. Let's go ahead and talk about those Eagles coming in as underdogs on the road here today, their first ever meeting. And I found that very shocking that they have never played Centerburg before as a program. Back in the regional semifinal, this group for the first time since 2022, which was the first season under head coach Jake Bruner.
Yeah, Coach Bruner just there the past 4 years. I did email him today to get a roster and some stats from him for the team this year. Just in the last 4 years, excluding the 2 wins they have in the playoffs so far this year, they are 40-9 under Coach Bruner. Coach Bruner already in his career has over 80 wins. He's definitely a seasoned coach. He's a great coach. That Colonel Crawford's definitely lucky to have a coach like him. Absolutely.
And in a player spotlight today, there's plenty of options, and I think you're going to like who I chose, Payton, because I chose a defensive player. Payne Degray, a 2-time All-Ohioan on the defensive line. He was a DPOI in the Northern 10 this year. Just look at those numbers. I mean, half of your tackles are for loss. That's quite the number.
Yeah, when I was looking up the team today to try to get to know the program a little better, the name that stood out most to me was Payne Degray, number 78. Huge kid, just massive. He's head and shoulders above everybody else, and he definitely uses his size and strength to his advantage while out on the field.
Yeah, a basketball player as well, of course. Once the season wraps up for Colonel Crawford here, he'll be going right back to practice to get ready for basketball season. Of course, a team that went really far with that basketball squad, and he's looking to do the same here on the football field in his senior year. Let's jump over now to the Centerburg Trojans coming into today on quite the hot streak. Of course, they had that run, I think, of 6, maybe even 7 games of 40-plus points. It's dipped down a little bit these last 2 games. They scored 34 against Fredericktown. They took in that bye. Ridgewood last week was a 28-14 win.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was 7 consecutive games after that loss to Johnstown that they had early in the season where they scored 40-plus points per game, and they're really just blowing everybody out. But, of course, playoffs is a whole nother ball game. It's a whole nother beast. You're not always going to score those high-scoring games like you do in the regular season.
Well, Coach Colella has had this squad in a very good position, of course, taking in that bye, and there's a lot of talk of, do you want the bye? Do you not want the bye? Well, Centerburg took it, and Jack Ballinger took his opportunity on his bye week to go visit Ohio State because he is a star tight end, a blocking tight end for this group. Doesn't have the receiving numbers that jump out of the stat sheet, but he is always going to be a big key for this squad, especially going against that other player spotlight, Payne Degray.
Right. My brother and I were talking last week after the game here in Centerberg, and we were both kind of wondering why Coach Coella doesn't use Ballinger a little more, and he is more of a blocking tight end for this program. But with a star like Ballinger going to see Florida earlier this year and then Ohio State last week, I want to see Coach Coella start to use him a little more in the receiving game, maybe a little more in the run game, maybe not so much carrying the ball, but run towards his side just a little bit more, get him a little more involved in this offensive scheme.
Well, absolutely. And you say that they haven't used him in the passing game much, but he's only one reception away from being the leading target because you use Hayden Love so much as a deep ball threat. You throw it short a couple times to Ballinger, but overall, this has been a run team just because they've been able to plow through the KMAC to this point as they storm out onto the field here from the heart of Ohio. Thank you so much for joining us live and free here on the OH Report. My name is Jonathon Langdon alongside Payton Colopy, and this has been your Webb's Marathon and Automotive pregame show. Let's go ahead and jump right into the first quarter here momentarily. But first, how about some keys to victory tonight for this Colonel Crawford team coming in today, looking to get another big win as the 5 seed in this region. I think you got to burst through those Bulls. If you're a Centerberg fan and you've listened to us for a while, you know that the Bulls are the offensive line for Centerberg, so I think that's the number one key.
Right, and that's exactly what I was going to say. This defensive front for Colonel Crawford has to control the line of scrimmage the entire game. They have to come out, punch those Bulls in the mouth right away from the get-go, and they can't let up if they want to have a chance, because we know how dangerous Centerberg is in the running game, with Miles Marshall rushing for well over 100 yards last week and 4 touchdowns, all rushing.
Absolutely, and one of my good friends at WBCO gave Parker Weithman, the receiver for this Colonel Crawford team, the title of 1 of 1. He wears number 1 on the field. He's number 1 in receiving in the KMAC, or pardon me, in the Northern 10. You got to use him tonight.
Yeah, that was another name that jumped out to me when I was researching this team earlier today. He's definitely a big-time threat that Centerberg has to focus on. They've been really good with their pass coverage throughout the year. They have to continue that streak tonight in order to be able to pull out a win.
You're looking at Jax Ballinger on your screen for the Centerberg Trojans. How about what they need to do to win here tonight? I think you've gotten to run your way to a KMAC title in pretty much dominating fashion against some pretty good competition. Do not shy away tonight from a Colonel Crawford team that is big. They're going to load the box, but it's going to be a little bit scary. Just keep playing your way.
Absolutely, yeah. They got to take advantage of Jack Ballinger's size. Again, utilize him a little more. They didn't use him a lot last week, but I can see Ballinger being a big part of tonight's win.
And the Sweet 16, oh so sweet for the Colonel Crawford Eagles as they storm their way out onto the field as well. That second key for Centerberg is to always have an answer. They did last week against Ridgewood. They actually let the Generals score the first points of the game. They quickly bounced back, ultimately won the football game 28-14. So now we're going to go ahead and jump into the first quarter here momentarily as both teams getting their prayers in before this one, as Week 13 just about underway here from Centerberg. Want to take a second to thank our sponsors, a loaded group of sponsors tonight for what should be a really special occasion between Colonel Crawford and Centerberg. Shout out to Webb's Marathon and Automotive. Also, Ohio AmVets Post 59 along with Old 30. Both of those will be toggling around on your scoreboard as the scoreboard sponsors today. Webb's brought you your pregame show, and then also replays presented by Monarch Title Services. Also, Baker's Pizza of Bucyrus will be your MVP sponsor. Burkhart Farm Center all over this broadcast, along with 89 Homes, Buckeye Horizon, First Federal Community Bank, and the Knox Community Hospital. A lot of eyes want to see this game. We are thankful that you have chosen us to take this one in tonight here from the heart of Ohio. If you can't be here, we're going to do our best to bring all of the emotion and everything through as the Eagles will kick off to Centerberg to start things today. Miles Marshall, along with Hayden Love, as they've been all season, are back to return for Centerberg. The kicker for Colonel Crawford is a special name, Joseph Zizzo. He was the N10 Special Teams Player of the Year. Very good kicker for this group. 55 of 58 on extra points, 2 for 2 on his field goal attempts. As long is 38, and he will kick this one away for Colonel Crawford momentarily. 12 on the clock, breaking through. Make sure to leave a comment down below. Let us know where you're watching from. We'll shout you out during this broadcast. Colonel Crawford taking on Centerberg, a full house from Heart of Ohio, and we are underway. Angled towards Hayden Love. He'll take it around the 15, take it 10 yards forward as he's ripped down by Colonel Crawford. Jacob Cochran there first as we are underway, and Centerberg will lead out their star-studded offense thanks to KMAC Player of the Year Blaine Ball at the helm.
Yeah, Blaine Ball is going to really have to work for the win tonight. Colonel Crawford's not going to give him anything really that he's seen all year. He's seen a lot of open spaces in between the DBs all year, but Colonel Crawford's really got everything locked down.
Four-man front for the Colonel Crawford defense. Payne Degray, our player spotlight, is on the far side of your defensive line. He's wearing 78 in white here tonight. Shotgun formation to start. Snap, they'll give it right to Sean Carter, who gets the start on the first carry of the day. Hardly had any action last week against the Generals. He's a second string back, gets a nice gain.
Yeah, Sean Carter was actually our MVP just a few weeks ago whenever we went over to watch Centerburg play East Knox. And then yesterday I was very surprised to see him basically quiet all night. He wasn't utilized hardly at all. It was nice to see him get the first touch here tonight.
Gain of 6, second down and 4, ball on the 31 of Centerburg. Shift from Jax Ballinger, the tight end. He'll go right at Degray as he lead blocks for Blaine Ball on the keeper, who gets the first down around the 39. But there's that matchup that we were talking about. Jax wins the battle, helps Centerburg win a first down.
Yeah, that right there was just Centerburg going at Degray, saying, hey, we know who you are, we know how good you are, we know how big you are, but we're going to show you that we're just that much better than you.
So just about a minute off of the clock here already, just in 2 plays, a new set of downs for the Trojans as they play in front of a stacked home crowd. Hardly any room in the bleachers here in front of us. One receiver near side. Ball takes a snap, immediately throws. First touch of the day for Miles Marshall as he turns the corner and gets a solid gain of about 6 to the 47-yard line.
Just a little quick pass there. Nothing was designed to go downfield with that. Just trying to get it out to his athletes to let him make a move. And clearly, Miles Marshall, we know how dangerous he is once he gets the ball in his hands.
Yeah, just simply heat him up, right? Because this is a guy that you really want to have feeling it early on in the contest. 25 rushing touchdowns for him this year. He had 4 last week against Ridgewood. Second down and 3. They'll go right back to Miles Marshall, and there's Payne Degray in the backfield for TFL 31 of the season.
Yeah, that looked like an off-tackle counter play there by Centerburg going towards the right side. But Payne Degray was lined up on the near side towards us on the left side of that line, still able to make the tackle in the backfield. Looks like they lost 1 on that.
Yeah, Payne Degray simply won the rep against number 62, Jaden Pagani, the senior. Easy pick'ems to go get Miles Marshall in the backfield. 3rd down and 4 after a loss of 1. Shift to the far side of the field. 2 tight ends move that way. Ball rolls that way, finds Jax, and he goes down early before the first down marker. Not sure what he was thinking. Maybe didn't see where exactly he needed to go, but it is going to be 4th down and 1.
I think with how he's played all year, I don't think that he was trying to slide down to avoid a hit. I think he simply just caught the ball, turned around, tried to make a cut to keep himself inbounds, and just lost his feeding.
So a big play early in the contest, right at midfield. It's 4th down and 1 with 10 minutes to go in the first. Snap, ball up the middle. Marshall gets the first down, and he's shoved down by Colonel Crawford's Luke Chrisman. It'll be a gain of 4. Make it an 89 Holmes first down.
First down, Trojans.
Some great gains on the ground so far here from Centerburg against a Colonel Crawford defense that did not allow Mount Gilead, a heavy rushing offense last week, to get any more than 6 yards on any carries. First down and 10. Marshall moves into motion. It'll be a keeper for Blaine Ball as he is eaten up at the line of scrimmage. He will shove forward for what it seems to be a yard. That'll bring up 2nd down. A good cheer from the Colonel Crawford side.
Yeah, it was number 52, Luke Chrisman, the junior there for Colonel Crawford on that defensive backfield. The defensive front, able to make the play on that. Was able to make contact basically right at the line of scrimmage, but Blaine Ball just squeaking forward for a 1-yard gain.
4 receivers here for 2nd down and 9 on the 46 of Colonel Crawford. Centerberg surging so far. Fake to Marshall. They'll throw a short screen play. 2nd catch so far for Jax Ballinger, but he's going nowhere. Maybe even a loss of about half a yard.
And there's Payne Degray that we talked about, and Parker Weithman in there to make the tackle. We talked a little bit about getting Ballinger a little more involved in the passing game this week, and so far they have, and really hasn't really worked out for him. This Colonel Crawford defense is just so good. They're definitely keen on him a lot.
Yeah, Parker Weithman in on his first tackle of the day. He's a star on the offensive side. We'll get to that momentarily. 3rd down and 9 on the 46. Drop back for Blaine. He steps up in the pocket, and there goes Degray for the sack. That'll make it 4th down.
Yeah, that right there is just a 1 rep there for number 78 of that defensive front. Able to drive his opponent basically back to where the quarterback received the ball, received the snap, and able to rip off the block and make the sack.
And that rep between tackle and defensive end was first-team All-KMAC Lane Johnston, losing the rep to the Defensive Player of the Year in the N10, Payne Degray, as Blaine Ball drops back to punt. Low snap, able to scoop it up and boot it. Dead center of the field is Weithman stepping back, makes a bobbling catch at the 10. He'll go to the far side and slip at about a 3-yard gain on the return, and Colonel Crawford with some iffy field position to start their first drive of the night.
And it's definitely not where they wanted receiving that ball at the 10. I'm a little surprised he actually caught it. I thought he was going to let it go over his head and kind of hope it rolls in the end zone. Able to just get 3 yards out of it, but not the field position you want to have starting a drive against a Centerburg defense as good as this.
So the Colonel Crawford Eagles will get a chance to take over offensively. A very good group led by 2 quarterbacks. That kind of bounce back and forth, it looks like today. It'll be Braden Holt, the senior, to get the start just like he did last week against Mount Gilead. Only took him a couple plays to find McMichael in the end zone as he gives it off to Connor McMichael, the back for this group, who continues to churn, and now a group of Trojans bring him down for maybe a gain of 1.
Yeah, to talk a little bit about that 2-quarterback system that Colonel Crawford has established this year. A lot of people, a lot of fans, a lot of coaches don't like having that system because they don't feel like there's enough consistency between the 2 quarterbacks. Obviously, Colonel Crawford has had that consistency. That's something that I love about the 2-quarterback system. I wish more teams would run it if they have the ability to.
Trips near side. Keep an eye on number 1 in white, as this one's handed off to McMichael again, who storms through the 2nd level. Blaine Ball dives to bring him down, but a solid gain out of the McMonster, Connor McMichael, to the 34.
Yeah, Ball able just to get enough of that shoelace there of McMichael. And if he hadn't, he had nothing but green grass in front of him, nothing but a white jersey or 2 there in front of him to lead block for him. If Ball hadn't have made that tackle right there, McMichael would have been gone.
Biggest play of the day to this point is on the side of Colonel Crawford as Braden Holt stays out on the field with the receiver far side. A crowded box on both sides. Shotgun snap, fake give. They'll go to Weithman. Try to thread a needle. That's nearly picked.
Dangerous throw there. You could tell where he wanted to go. His eyes kind of snapped over to that left side towards Weithman almost immediately. I mean, there's 2 receivers there, and they both were in front, but you had 4 Centerburg defenders within a 5-yard radius of both of them. Dangerous spot for him to throw that.
It looked like an RPO as well, and if he would have gone with McMichael, there may have been some numbers on the carry for a 2nd straight big run from Connor, but nonetheless, we reset on the incompletion. 2nd down and 10. This time they'll wise up and go to McMichael with plenty of space. Lead blocker, he's going to take him to the outside into Centerburg territory as he topples down at the 38.
Yeah, McMichael, I was just looking at my roster sheet here. The 6-foot, 210-pound running back. He's just a massive back to have back there. He's not super fast, but he's shifty enough. He's able to get around some guys, some of the bigger defensive linemen. But if you're a linebacker or DB, he's going to run you over, kind of like John Degray did there at the end of that play with that big block, basically right as McMichael fell.
And there is another 89 Holmes first down. Late substitution here from Crawford, as it looked like somebody didn't know the play. They'll go to trips near side, one receiver to the far end as they sit on the far hash as well. McMichael gets the handoff immediately, eaten up for a loss of 2.
Looks like that was number 58, Lane Johnston, kind of going after Payne Degray, like, hey, you beat me on that last rep, but I'm going to beat you on this one. Able to beat him, get a big tackle for loss there.
It is a loss of 3, so 2nd down and 13. Ball moves back to the Centerberg 42 as we are about 7 minutes into this first quarter. Centerberg already with a drive. They punted around midfield. And the Eagles on their first drive as well, as McMichael gets back to the original line of scrimmage to set up 3rd down and long.
Hey, he got looks like maybe 6 yards, 5 or 6 yards on that run, but he had to run about 20 to get there. Stretched it all the way out to the numbers, finally able to find a spot to cut up. And even then, he still had a wall of Centerburg Trojans in front of him.
And this is the 2-quarterback system we've been talking about. It is a new quarterback out there since the start of the drive. Payton Baker, the senior, wearing number 9, leads this 3rd down play with 3 receivers. Parker Weithman, over 1,000 receiving yards, sits in the slot near side. There's a whistle and a flag. And it looks like a false start on Colonel Crawford.
False start on the Eagles.
Yeah, taking a 3rd and long, make it 3rd and longer on that false start.
Yeah, it looked like the right guard potentially with the jump early.
Looked like there was a couple of Eagles that jumped early. Looked like McMichael left just a little too early.
So roll that clock again, 4.5 to go in the first. Ball on the 43-yard line on a now 3rd down and 15 situation. Looked like maybe an early start again for McMichael. No call, and the keeper from Baker goes nowhere. It's a 4th down and long.
Baker on the carry, picked up by Ballinger.
AC Ballinger and number 54, Hagan Bryant, able to make the play on that. Ballinger actually took on a kick-out block there almost perfectly, still able to drive the right guard back into the quarterback. And then Bryant came in, was able to wrap him up, and Ballinger come in and clean it up.
Good defense by both sides, forcing punts on the opposing offense's first drives. Hayden Love back to return right at the 10. For Centerberg, there's a jump from the Trojans. And this is going to move the ball 5 yards up the field, and maybe in go-for-it range, Crawford might think about this.
Yeah, with it being inside the Centerburg 40, it looks like they are making substitutions. We're going to see him go for it on 4th and 9 here. It's still a slightly risky play here, but inside the 40, at the high school level, it's hard to warrant a punt because a lot of these punters aren't great at placing the ball in a certain spot and able to get it to roll the way that they want to, like you see at the college and pro level.
Well, here we go. Crawford is going to go for it. 3 receivers. Braden Holt back out to throw it. Collapsing pocket, throws, down the field, sideline looking for McMichael. Nice breakup from Tommy Haas. Got to make it a turnover on downs for the Trojans.
Would have been a huge play there for McMichael if he's able to haul it in. Haas was just covered all over him. Didn't leave him any room for error there.
The senior didn't say his name as much as we thought we may have last week against Ridgewood, but there he is already stepping up here today. 2 teams, both get drives, both stall out. One a punt, one a turnover on downs. Here goes the Trojan offense with trips near side to start on 1st down and 10 at the 37 of the Trojans. And a whistle here, and it looks like, see a timeout called, and this will be called by Colonel Crawford.
Yeah, it looked like there might have been a little confusion between the defensive line and the linebacker units of Colonel Crawford. Maybe that's why it was called, maybe a little confusion of the play call or the formation that Centerburg came out in. But they're going to gather on their sidelines, talk everything over, and figure out what they need to do.
Speaking of Colonel Crawford, just to kind of talk them up a little bit, 6th straight year in the postseason. Each season they've recorded at least 1 win in the playoffs. Very recent success as well, having reached the playoffs in 10 of the last 14 seasons. Their first playoff appearance was all the way back in the early 2010s, but here they are with just accumulating success as they go on.
Yeah, a program that definitely started to build a lot of momentum really late compared to when the program first started. But that momentum has carried them pretty far just about every single year since that first appearance.
And their defense will trot out, try to make another stop on this hot offense for Centerburg. 4 receivers on the play. Ballinger will pop out on a screen play. His 3rd catch already. He's got a nice runway. He'll stiff arm someone out of bounds right at midfield. Gotta love it when you can get the big fella to just put an arm out and just throw somebody to the ground.
Yeah, that right there, that was number 10, Carson Rader, that attempted to make the tackle there. He's able to push him out of bounds, but not before Ballinger really just kind of took advantage of the size difference and that kind of matchup right there.
Well, 1 play and it's a first down. 3 catches already for Jax. That equals his number from last week. Eli and Disiani moves in motion for Centerburg. It's a give to Miles Marshall as he's taken down at the 45 for a gain of 3.
Yeah, Colonel Crawford definitely watched a lot of film from last week on Centerburg. Saw the keys that they were kind of working with when they were playing Ridgewood. Really definitely focused on somebody this week during practice on the scout team, saying, hey, you're going to be Miles Marshall all week. You're going to be carrying the ball all week long. So far, it's paying off for them.
Well, Miles Marshall last week didn't have too many big plays. He was kind of held to 3, 4, 5-yard rushes. He had to learn to stay patient just to prepare for this week.
And honestly, that's all you really need is just 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
There's another TFL for Payne Degray.
As you see Ball there trying to add on to that 3 yards in a cloud of dust, but Payne Degray coming in so far started off the first couple plays a little slow, but he's starting to feel himself going as we get further into this first quarter.
Yeah, winning a good chunk of the reps, just disruptive here today so far in the first 2 drives for Centerburg.
That's all you need as a defensive lineman. You don't have to be a big play guy. As long as you're disrupting that offensive game plan, you're doing your job perfectly.
Under 2 minutes here in the first quarter. Ball dropping back, looking down the field. He's got Hayden Love on a short pass, and it's knocked away by Parker Weithman.
He's looking for a flag, maybe potential defensive holding, but no call on that. Great coverage there by Weithman.
And that'll bring up 4th down on the other side now as a pass deflection on 4th down for Centerburg from Tommy Haas. Turn the ball over on downs. This time Weithman does a good job knocking that one away, and they're likely going to win the football back here on a punt.
And that right there is what you've seen Centerburg do all year long, just kind of throwing it deep when they needed to Hayden Love, and usually he's able to come down with it. But, again, great coverage by Weithman.
Colonel Crawford had a blocked punt last week. Looks like they're sending the dogs this time. Nearly got there as Blaine angles it to the far sideline, and it will bounce nicely for Centerburg inside the 15.
Looks like it rolled out of bounds right at the 13, right where they started their last drive. See if Colonel Crawford's able to build that momentum back up and continue it all the way into the end zone.
They had a couple big rushes by Connor McMichael, but the pass game hasn't been too well developed yet. Had one that was almost intercepted, got thrown into a crowd, and then the 4th down we mentioned before that was knocked away by Tommy Haas, who came over and covered as a linebacker. Number 8 in red sits behind the defensive line as Colonel Crawford brings out Peyton Baker to start this next drive at quarterback. 2 receivers here. Actually 3 as John Degray leaks out in the slot. Hardly saw him in the pack, and he gets a nice catch right around the 1st down marker.
Yeah, it looks like he was able to fall forward past the sticks, but I think his foot went out after just an 8-yard gain. But that right there is what Colonel Crawford needed to kind of kickstart this passing offense. Just nickel and dime him down the field so you can open things up later in the game.
I'll tell you why I didn't see him, because he was a tight end. He wasn't in the slot, but lined up there, gets a nice catch, a gain of 8, as you said, Payton. Ball in the 22 here for Colonel Crawford. A lot of bodies between the hashes here for both teams. Michael leaks out in motion. It'll be a keeper for Baker as the blockers do their job, seam up the middle, and here goes Baker into Centerburg territory. Nearly tripped up. He's still going inside the 15.
Huge play there by Baker, able to get the ball all the way down to, it looks like the I believe you said the 15-yard line. But credit to number 52 for Colonel Crawford, the offensive lineman, Luke Chrisman, all the way down there trying to block 3 Centerburg Trojans at the same time. It's hard to do that, and he did it pretty successfully for about 15 yards.
Payton Baker had a 66-yard touchdown rush late in the game against Mount Gilead last week. And that was a nice one right there as well, basically going the entire way across the field to the 15-yard line as Colonel Crawford with 1:15 left will snap this and give it to Connor McMichael as the big boy rushes forward for another solid gain. Looks like about 9.
Yeah, that right there, just trying to give it to the big fella, trying to let him punch it into the end zone from 15 out. Centerberg able to make a good tackle there to keep him held up. Looks like they got him at an 8-yard gain.
Nope, looks like 9. 2nd down and 1 on the 6. Actually, it looks like you're right. The ball's marked at the 7.
Looks like maybe just a little miscommunication between the field and the press box, but
here we go. Payton Baker running to the far side again. He'll dive untouched into the end zone, and Colonel Crawford draws first blood here tonight.
Yeah, that right there was just a quarterback keep all the way, trying to get out around to the edge. Great job on the offensive lineman, able to set that edge for him so he can walk right into the end zone basically untouched.
Take a look at it again. Thanks to Monarch Title Services. Pretty much the same thing. Cut and paste from his big run to get all the way across the field. They went to McMichael once, go right back to the play, and it makes it 6-0. And Joseph Zizzo will kick the extra point. Good snap, hold by Baker, and the kick is up and through to make it 7-0. Colonel Crawford, the 5 seed, takes the lead over top-seeded Centerburg Trojans here from the heart of Ohio.
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain Trane heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 419-529-2738, your local Trane comfort specialist.
And welcome back here from Centerburg. Jonathon Langdon alongside Payton Colopy as Colonel Crawford Eagles strike with a touchdown of 6 yards on a carry by the quarterback Payton Baker. It's 7-0. They'll kick it back to the Trojans, 3rd time that Centerburg will be on the football as Marshall bobbles it, nearly trips as well. He'll angle to the 20 where he's knocked down short of it. But a nice tackle in open space by number 2, Rowan Thu. So Centerburg takes over for a 89 Homes first down. And if you're just looking on the first 2 drives from Centerburg and then the first 2 drives from Crawford, advantage Eagles, right?
Yeah, I mean, both were kind of stalled there other than a couple big plays from Colonel Crawford. But Colonel Crawford able to make those big plays work in their advantage and finally punch it in the end zone.
Playing ball sits in the shotgun, left sidecar Miles Marshall. Pop him in the motion, looking down the middle of the field. He'll opt for his check down, and Marshall's got plenty of space on the far sideline. Gets a first down and more with a gain it looks up to be about 20 around the 38-yard line.
Looks like just a hitch route, possibly just a 5-yard hitch or maybe a 5-yard out to Marshall there. But he was out in space, didn't have anybody near him, able to make a couple guys miss and pick up a big first down there to start the drive.
Payton and I say advantage Centerburg or advantage Crawford earlier, but both of these teams have had some really nice looking plays on both sides of the ball. Here's first down and 10 on the 38-yard line as Ballinger shifts to the near side. He'll match up with Degray. Handoff here to Miles as he shifts around a couple, and a flag thrown in the backfield on a run that basically goes nowhere for Centerburg. Cheers from Colonel Crawford. This is going to be a hold. They'll take him back 10 yards.
And that right there, it's something that the Centerburg offensive front has struggled with. We've seen all year is keeping the hands inside, grabbing hold of the jersey just a little too much. Another good call there by the referee, and Centerburg having to start further back than what they like.
It's a spot foul as well, so they'll move him back 10 yards. Not just that, but they'll also put him right dead center of the field. So you don't have a field or a boundary here for first down and a lot, but on the 28-yard line. Looks like it's marked 1st and 20 now. Ball snap. They're going to right back to Miles. Turns the corner, shifts aside, and runs right through a few Eagles. Right to the 35-yard line as zeros hit the clock here in the first quarter. So Centerburg trails here as the 1 seed in the region to Colonel Crawford. 7-0 here between the KMAC and the N10 for a second straight week for these Eagles.
From primary care to orthopedics, women's health to pain management, the Knox Community Hospital Centerberg Health and Wellness Center provides excellent care for virtually all your family's healthcare needs. Comprehensive lab services are also offered at our state-of-the-art facility. Podiatry and surgical consultations too. The Centerberg Health and Wellness Center. It's a world of great care right around the corner.
And welcome back, live and free here in the OH Report. Centerburg taking on Colonel Crawford in a Division 6 Region 23 regional semifinal. 4 receivers here on 2nd down and 13 as the Trojans trail by 7, and Payne Degray pressures Blaine Ball. He slips to the deck at the 25.
Yeah, Blaine Ball just dropping back to pass there. Looks like he caught a patch of soft ground there, slipped, and Payne Degray really just kind of fell on top of him for the sack.
So book it, a loss of 7. This will make it 3rd down and really long. Real tough stretch here for the Trojans, as they already trail a touchdown after Peyton Baker, one of the 2 quarterbacks for Crawford, ran one in the last drive. Handoff here to Marshall, as he's not going to get anywhere near that first down marker, just a few yards on the gain, and Centerburg positioning themselves to punt. That's a rough way for your drive to end, as Ball just drops back, faces pressure, and just causes himself to go down.
Yeah, especially after giving up the touchdown to the Eagles. Starting the second quarter is definitely not how they wanted it to go, but drives like that happen sometimes, even to some of the best teams.
Weithman back to return again, as Ball does his typical drop back to about the 19. Moves Love into motion, shifts to the side. This ball nearly blocked, as a flag does get thrown after ball is leveled. Nice punt as well, all things considered, as it bounced to the 31.
Yeah, that right there, definitely roughing the kicker on Luke Chrisman. I don't believe it was malice in any way. I think he just kind of wasn't in a position to stop himself from hitting him, because they're going after the ball so hard with the field position, trying to get a block.
Now, I wasn't looking at the official. I didn't get the call. Was it running into or was it roughing?
I believe it was roughing the kicker.
Because 2 completely different things, depending on what the official ruling is here, as they're talking to Coach Colella about it. Head coach for Centerburg, leading this team to a 10-1 record as we sit today.
I think with how hard Ball was hit there, even though I don't think he meant to do it in any way, I think just with how hard he was hit, I think it almost has to be a roughing the kicker.
Well, the official call is running into the kicker, so it is not going to be an automatic first down. Just 5 yards up the field, and Ball will have to punt this again. Weithman back to return. I see 7 guys threatening to rush here. They'll actually send 5. No one near Ball this time, as he kicks it out towards the middle of the field, and Weithman will let it roll inside the 20, and it will stop at the 15, dead center of the field. Scooped up by Miles Marshall, and Colonel Crawford after a touchdown on their last drive are looking to cook something up similar here on the road. I want to take a second to thank our sponsors, bringing you tonight's live and free coverage here on the OH Report with over 1,500 of you watching here today, both on Facebook and on YouTube. Shout out to Webb's Marathon and Automotive here in Centerburg. Also, the AmVets Post 59 in Centerburg, along with Monarch Title Services. And in Bucyrus, shout out to Baker's Pizza, your player of the game sponsor. You'll see that at the end of the broadcast tonight. Shout out Burkhart Farm Center, 89 Homes in Jeromesville, Buckeye Horizon, First Federal Community Bank, and also the Knox Community Hospital. First down and 10 here as the give is to McMichael for about 2 yards.
Yeah, just starting this drive a little conservative for the Eagles. Just a quick little dive play right up the middle.
McMichael on the carry, tackled by
Connor McMichael this season, a two-time first-team All-Northern 10 athlete, 163 carries coming into this week, 1,300 yards. Similar territory to where Miles Marshall sits on the other side for Centerberg. Motion man here as Thu takes the football, reverses course, shifts on the near sideline or on the near hashes, and he's taken down for not much.
Yeah, right as he made the cut to try to come back inside to that open hole he saw. He slipped this Centerburg field with how wet the air has been the past few weeks. It's definitely giving them a lot of grief.
It's been Braden Holt the last couple plays here at quarterback as he faces 3rd down and 8 on their own 17. He's got McMichael to the right sidecar. He'll move Weithman into motion all alone on the far side with room to work. Holt drops through, gets the pass off before crossing the line, finds Weithman for his first catch, and he's taken down for a first down all the way to the 36.
Yeah, Weithman coming back into the middle of the field, finding some open space, open area for him Braden Holt to get the ball upfield and able to pick up a big first down there.
Really impressive stuff. They roll Holt to the far side of the field, and they just cross Weithman to the other side, find a gap in that defense where they had 4, maybe even 5 players all in the vicinity of Weithman. Still could not contain him. Another give here to McMichael, who's tripped at the legs. Nice tackle there by Lane Johnston as he fell to the ground and kind of just tripped him up.
Yeah, right there, I think he just kind of fell into the running lane for McMichael, and he didn't really have anywhere for him to go, and just ended up tripping over Johnston.
Already a couple of tackles for Johnston here today. Had 2 last week against Ridgewood. Puts him over 20 on the season. Holt in the shotgun again, this time McMichael on the near side. Weithman in motion, fake give to Parker. It'll be a short screen, plenty of space for McMichael. However, he does trip. It loses him a couple of yards as he could have gone well past the 50 if he didn't stumble, but he still gets the first down.
Yeah, definitely. He had nothing but white jerseys in front of him, lead blocking for him on that slip screen right there. Slipping basically as soon as he turned around, but still able to pick up another big first down. Ball fell out of his arms there right at the end, but he was already down before it even came out.
Well, how about the variety we're seeing today from Colonel Crawford? Of course, a couple of runs, just one-player actions, and just getting Baker up the field with some blockers, but then they call screenplay, something that you typically don't see out of McMichael, but he still makes the catch. Did some damage with it, too. Quick give back to McMichael as he trucks through, and Angelo Nichols, the 320-pound tackle, has to chase him from behind and bring him down for a first down.
Yeah, that was number 19, Carter Rodebeck, I believe, that made the initial contact that kind of slowed him down and let the big number 77 kind of catch up to him. And credit there to number 13, the quarterback, Braden Holt, kind of lead blocking, able to lay down a block on the defensive end there to open things up for McMichael.
Couple nice reps for the McMonster. He'll take a break on the far sideline. But how about Angelo just making that rush out to make a nice tackle? However, Crawford driving here on the field. And Peyton Baker back in at quarterback. Avery Powers sits in the left sidecar. He will lead block for Baker again, who is torching the Centerberg defense so far as he runs for 8.
This Colonel Crawford drive so far has just been the coaching staff really pinpointing on what Centerberg's been doing defensively and kind of picking everything apart, nitpicking everything, every little mistake that they're making. Colonel Crawford's been able to capitalize on it, and I think that's why they're able to put these drives together so far that we've seen at the end of this first half.
And I feel like with this Colonel Crawford team, as we go halfway through the second quarter here, but you kind of have your priority list of threats that you know of. You know Payton Baker can run the football, but it's not top on your priority as you've got other things to deal with. They hand it off to Thu here. He's going to lose, actually, no gain on the play, so it'll be 3rd down and 2. But you kind of pick and choose your battles, and so far you've chosen wrong because Baker's torching you up.
Yeah, it seems like they're trying to key in on McMichael a little bit more this drive. You really haven't seen the big runs that you did the first drive for Colonel Crawford out of McMichael, other than really that slip screen right there that we saw right at midfield. But they got to do a little better job so far at the end of this second quarter of kind of spreading everything out to focus on a little bit of everybody.
Snap, give. Shift to the left as McMichael's got plenty of space, and here he goes inside the 10, around the 5, and Crawford's in business again.
Right as I say, McMichael hasn't had those big runs this drive. Here he is making me eat my words, bringing it all the way down to the 5-yard line into the red zone again.
And this red zone opportunity presented to you by Burkhart Farm Center out of Bucyrus. That'll make it an 89 Holmes first down as well, and Crawford threatening to make this a 2-score game late in the first half. Well, I said it in the scene center, said it was going to be a barn burner. I think I've been right here so far. However, Crawford's starting to inch ahead after a couple of stalled plays and detrimental plays for Centerberg offensively that have really taken away from some solid play. Another give to McMichael as he turns for the end zone, rides that near hash, and he'll get a few.
Looks like they got him marked down at the 3-yard line. Able to just pick up 2 yards on that. But we talked about in pregame that Colonel Crawford needed to control the line of scrimmage early and all night long. So far, they've been able to do that here in the early portion of this game.
4 minutes to go here in half number 1. Crawford leads it 7-0. And they're on the doorstep as well with 2nd down and goal, 3 to go to the goal line. Here on the road against a really stout Centerburg defense, at least their reputation beholds them. A lot of flags here before the play. We'll see what the call is. Delay a game. Didn't get the play off in time. No play clocks here at Centerburg, so you got to watch that top judge, and just caught him off guard. It'll be a 5-yard penalty. Make it the 8-yard line now for 2nd down and goal.
Yeah, Colonel Crawford just taking a little too long to get back to the line of scrimmage to get that play off. The quarterback's got to do a little better job getting everybody set and ready to go.
Shotgun set. Baker already has a touchdown today, and he's got an entourage for a second. He doubles his season total with rushing touchdowns this week alone in this first half. It is now 13-0 Colonel Crawford.
Yeah, he was just able to just walk right into the end zone. Had a huge wall of Eagles offensive players there, able to just kind of lead him in. Perfect blocking, perfect technique there across the board for Colonel Crawford.
And he tosses it right to that back judge that called him for delay of game. He just says, hey, I'll just take the extra yards and the touchdown, as there's the extra point from Zizzo. 14-0 Colonel Crawford, threatening to run away with this early on. There is a flag on the field, so we'll stay here for a moment to see what that's all about.
Yeah, the flag was actually thrown after the ball hit the ground, after it went through the upright, so it was a late call. So maybe somebody said something down there on the field.
The 6 official crew congregates. They're going to pick up the flag. So we'll take a break, come back. It's 14-0 Crawford when we return here on the OH Report.
I'm Steve Krall, president of First Federal Community Bank. And here at First Federal Community Bank, our playbook consists of the 3 C's: care, curiosity, and courage. Just like your team, our 3 C's strengthen our communities and our team here at First Federal Community Bank. On behalf of our team here at First Federal, we want to wish all of our area teams and coaches the best of luck this season. Yes!
14-0 Colonel Crawford. Underdogs in seeding. Certainly those fans on the far side of the field did not feel like they were underdogs coming into today after what they did to Mount Gilead, a fellow KMAC school. Last week they beat them 42-8. The same team that Centerberg knocked out in the regular season, 46-0. Kickoff here to Hayden Love. He's had all 3 returns here so far as he takes it near side, and he is knocked right at the 25. That's a woo hit here in the heart of Ohio.
Yeah, big hit by number 18, Gabe Stratton. Just the sophomore for Colonel Crawford, one of their backup quarterbacks, laying the wood on that.
Well, I'll tell you, he's not a backup at the linebacker position. Second team All-Northern 10, 78 tackles coming into today. And I mean, every team's got 1 or 2 underclassmen that you really look at and say, they're going to be the future of this program. Gabe Stratton, he's one of those guys.
Yeah, that's something I was looking at Colonel Crawford earlier. They don't have a lot of underclassmen that really play a lot, but the underclassmen that they do have play are just dogs.
Fake pass to Love on a screen. Ball with a crowd of Eagles is able to make something out of nothing, and he gains it all the way to the 26 on first down and 10.
It looked like Ball was trying to pump fake to Love to draw Weithman up, kind of get him to kind of get out of coverage there, because he was looking downfield to Ballinger, trying to get him a little deep ball action. But Weithman not falling for it, staying with Ballinger.
3 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Centerberg needs something to take into the locker rooms after being shut out thus far. Marshall in motion. They'll fake it to him. Blaine keeps it himself, goes right at a big Centerberg or a big Colonel Crawford defensive line, and he'll gain another 2, maybe 3 yards.
Ball on the carry.
But so far, the run game hasn't had much.
Yeah, Centerberg hadn't really been able to get a whole lot put together with their rushing attack. As you see, number 23, Tice Lysel, the senior for Colonel Crawford, making the tackle there on that play.
Shotgun again for Blaine. He's got Marshall as a buddy to the left. Trips far side. He's going to roll that way. Immediately faces some pressure. Escapes. Hit as he throws. Finds him in, but short of the first down marker as Centerberg continues to get pressured by this Colonel Crawford front. Completion to Indiciani will make it 4th down.
And Ball, you see, kind of with just a little bit of a limp there. Didn't really take a big shot from Payne Degray, but with how big Degray is, he fell right on top of Ball, and that's got to hurt.
4th down and 3 with under 2 to go. Crawford with 2 timeouts left. Centerberg with 3. Is this just going to be another punt here from Centerberg? Well, we'll see. There's whistles, and it looks like a timeout by Colonel Crawford. So they want to kind of eye up the situation here as they saw what Centerberg was in. So they've got 1 timeout to go. Centerberg still got all 3 as the ball sits at the 30-yard line for a 4th down and 3. But Centerberg not been the half that they have wanted here offensively. But you got to feel like defensively they were confident in the offense coming in, getting them to at least 14 points at this point of the game. But the offense has been the one to kind of let them down thus far.
Yeah, their defense making a good stand, even though they're down 14-0. They're doing a good job at keeping everything inside. They just have to do a better job of everybody getting to the ball, getting more hats on the ball at the point of attack. And this Colonel Crawford defense has just been lights out so far in this first half. It's hard to get anything going with a defense like this.
Ball drops back to punt, so Crawford burns that timeout. They'll get the football back as Blaine boots it right to Weithman as it hits off of him, and it's loose. Ball punched on, landed on by Centerberg.
That's number 4, Hayden Love, coming up with the recovery there.
I had him right in the face mask. My goodness.
Yeah, that right there is just so dangerous. Weithman just not in a good position, taking the football right off the face there. And Hayden Love, with how fast he is, able to get downfield immediately to cover that up.
And when I was doing my prep for this game, I watched him against Mount Gilead, Parker Weithman, just kind of eye up some of those balls as they were rolling. Didn't return too many. And I was wondering, hey, maybe in this game, maybe something takes a wicked bounce and ends up popping off of him, and there it is. And Centerberg in business. At the 31, they'll give it to Miles Marshall as he storms forward. He's rocked at the 27-yard line. But, I mean, something had to happen for the Centerberg offense. That might have been it.
Yeah, they needed to get their way downfield. So far in this quarter, they really haven't been able to get things moving offensively. But with that big special teams play, they got a lot of more noise coming from their sidelines, from their bleachers. Maybe they're able to carry this into the end zone just before the end of the half.
Hayden Love and Indiciani sit near side. Ballinger shifts that way as well. Another give to Miles. He'll turn the corner. Far side. Flags fly all over the place after this play. I'll give you a look and see if you can catch what happens here. It seems as if it's going to be the hold. Yeah, Johnston, I think, is going to get called for that 58 in red.
Yeah, Johnston. I think he had actually a good hold of their shoulder pads and their jersey. And they teach you as an offensive lineman, you are allowed to use your hands a little bit as long as it stays inside. The referees are going to let some things go. But when he gets his arm out up like that and throws it up, trying to draw the flag, he's got to know when to let go of that or he's going to get caught.
Timeout Centerberg. After that hold makes it 2nd down and 16 on the Crawford 37. But you also saw in that replay, Dom Dean did a pretty good job selling it. He kind of lifted that arm a little bit. I'm not saying he sold it. I'm just saying that good job there, just kind of getting the officials' attention, and that probably warranted the flag as they'll sit in the far hash here. But the Trojans, of course, that bye came out a little flat against Ridgewood. They allowed the Generals to score the first touchdown of the game. Same thing here, but this time it's the first 2 touchdowns of the game, and you sit in this hole. You've got 2 timeouts to go, and Coach Colella uses this one to kind of hype up his team as they win the muffed punt a few moments ago off of the face mask of Parker Weithman to put them in business at the 37. However, that 10-yard flag is putting a little bit of a damper on things for the Trojans. Centerburg faithful trying to cheer them on here for 2nd down and long with under a minute to go in the second. And Disiani back in motion. Dropping back to pass. Instant pressure. It's a big hit from Dom Dean. He will throw him to the beautiful Bermuda grass here at Centerburg.
Yeah, right there. Ball just trying to get something working downfield. Held onto the ball just a little too long, and Dom Dean able to come in. We saw just a moment ago able to sell that holding call to get the penalty, but coming in and just slamming playing ball to the ground. No matter how soft this ground is, those types of hits never feel good.
Yeah, absolutely. And it seems like the Centerburg offensive line that we have boasted about all season long is coming up against some nice N10 competition, some nice size in Crawford, and they just simply can't really keep up as Dom Dean gets the sack right there, sits 6'2", 220, but let me just list off the sizes of some of these other guys. Luke Chrisman, 6'5", 230. Walker Kramer had a blocked punt last week, 6'3", 215. Trace Skaggs, 6'2", 215. Payne Degray, of course, 6'5", 255. This is a big group, and they are very much a threat in the pass game.
Yeah, we talked all year about how big Centerburg's linemen are. Maybe not quite as tall, but thicker than everybody else, but they really haven't gone against anybody with this kind of size before all year.
Ballinger moves into motion. 3rd down and 21. Degray nearly gets to the quarterback. Ball directs traffic, finds Ballinger around the 33. He shrugs off one tackler, gets to the original line of scrimmage, and he's knocked out inside the 30. They'll bring up 4th down and manageable here as they get out of bounds as well to save a timeout.
Yeah, Ballinger getting out of bounds there definitely helps out this offensive unit a lot. Able to get, looks like 4 yards past the original line of scrimmage, going to bring up 4th and 6.
Gain of 15. Ball empty backfield, 5 wide. However, keep an eye on Marshall near side. He might motion. He does towards the trips. 4th down and 6. Shot down the field to the end zone. Ball, it looks like somebody falls in the end zone, and this is going to warrant a flag. It appears as if Skylar Merklin in the game took a tumble thanks to one of those defensive backs for Crawford.
Yeah, I think their feet just got kind of tied up there right in as soon as they got to the goal line. Merklin tripped up, and even though it may or may not have been a pass interference, something like that type of situation, that's going to get called every time.
Man, off topic here, but we just zoomed in on the official. How about the sideburns on that guy?
I know, I noticed that earlier. The official definitely looks like he came straight from the 80s to come to this game.
Well, he makes the call there to help Centerberg out. It'll make it 1st down and 10 on the 14. 29 seconds to go. Trojans need something here. They got a timeout left. Skylar Merklin was the one to draw the pass interference. He's missed the last couple of weeks due to injury, but he is good to go here as a senior. He's trying to help his team keep their season alive. Hayden Love in motion. Fake give to Marshall. Looking to the right side of the field, has nothing. Shifts to the left, middle of the field. Pressured by Crawford, they'll bring him down. Blaine Ball had so much time, still couldn't find anybody. That secondary has been underrated so far today. Timeout Centerburg.
Yeah, Ball really trying to make things work for him. Had nothing going downfield, trying to give his receivers a little bit more time to get open. But Crispin finally able to get to him after 3 other Colonel Crawford Eagles had their shot to make the sack.
The Trojans here down by 2 scores, 15 seconds left. Just got taken out of the red zone. It's now 2nd down and 26. And they'll have 29 yards to the end zone.
Yeah, Centerberg kind of bailed out there by that pass interference, able to get them a new set of downs as what they would have been another 4th down situation where they would have lost the ball to turnover. Getting bailed out and then coming out with that first play, Crawford able to pick up a huge sack.
Right side trips here out of the timeouts, none left for Centerburg. Ballinger and Disiani and Merklin sit in those trips. Hayden Love all alone with Parker Weithman defending towards the Colonel Crawford sideline. Whistle blows, we're good to go. 15 seconds left here in the 2nd quarter. Big play here, 2nd down and 25. Ball drops back, has to rush inside, finds his scapegoat as he finds Marshall, who shifts around inside the 10. A nice gain, not going to be a 1st down. So 3rd down, but a nice, solid effort here from Centerburg, and it gives them life with 6 to go.
That was a huge play there by Marshall, able to get them back down to where they wanted to be. We looked, at least I looked possibly for a potential block in the back on Merklin, but nothing was ever thrown.
3rd down and 6, but with 6 seconds left, odds are you're looking to the end zone. John Degray all the way back as a safety on this play. And Colonel Crawford wanted to see what Centerburg was in most likely. They called their final timeout. Not very often in games do you see teams use all 3 of their timeouts. Both of them have here today.
Yeah, especially in these last couple of minutes. You see Centerburg kind of using up all theirs, and then finally Crawford using their last one that they kind of held on to the last second portion of the 2nd quarter.
So Crawford groups up defense looking for one final stand. Coach Bruner coming into this game said about Centerberg that they will challenge us in every phase of the game. Well, offensively, they've been up to the task, 14 points on the board. Defensively, to this point, they have shut out Centerberg, and they're looking to keep that alive as they head into the locker rooms here in just about 6 seconds of game time. Two receivers tight, near side here for Centerberg. No timeouts left. Likely the last play, unless it's a quickie from Centerberg. Indiciani in motion. Ball takes the snap. Has to escape Degray. Rolling, throws towards his main target, Ballinger. It's incomplete. Zeros on the clock. And that is how the first half ends, thanks to Colonel Crawford's lockdown defense here in the half.
Yeah, Colonel Crawford's definitely excited. You see them sprinting off the field. Coach Gruner really excited getting his boys in the locker room. Definitely a good showing here for the Colonel Crawford in this first half. Centerberg's got to get things figured out in halftime, which we know they're very good at.
Well, 14-0. Colonel Crawford holds the lead over Centerberg, looking for a 5-1 upset here in Division 6, Region 23. Up next, your halftime band shows here live and free on the OH Report.
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain train heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 419-529-2738, your local trained comfort specialist.
Farmall. 100 years of can-do. 100 years of milestones. 100 years of family. Generation after generation, its legacy lives on. The one for all since 1923.
In business and ag banking, it's not just about the numbers, it's about the people. At First Federal Community Bank, we believe relationships are the foundation of every successful partnership. We can help you grow your farm through various ag programs, including working with our local FSA offices, as well as Farmer Mac. We have many commercial business programs to help make your day-to-day operations easy and convenient. Because when you bank with us, you're not just a customer, you're family.
In 1965, the Rolling Stones painted it black and sparked a rebellion that echoes through the ages. Your CCHS Marching Eagles bring that unstoppable vibe to life, driving the beat across the field. Crank it up for the Rolling Stones. Can't get no satisfaction. In 1990, the Black Crowes gave Southern soul music a new life when they added a gritty Southern rock style to this 1968 Otis Redding classic. Here's Hard to Handle. Let's hear it for your 2025 Colonel Crawford Eagle Marching Band.
Please welcome to the field the 2025 Centerburg Marching Band and Cheerleaders. You may notice our band is half the size tonight as our upperclassmen are in Indianapolis at the Bands of America World Championship Leadership Conference. The band tonight is led by Mrs. Parrott and Audrey Carlisle. They will be performing some of their favorite stand tunes and have asked our cheerleaders to join them on the field for some fun. The cheerleaders are under the direction of Christy Adams. Let's go Trojans!
That would be I a lot of times I use this cycle for good for low. He's good
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain Trane heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 419-529-2738, your local Trane comfort specialist.
Farmall. 100 years of can-do. 100 years of milestones. 100 years of family. Generation after generation, its legacy lives on. The one for all since 1923.
In business and ag banking, it's not just about the numbers, it's about the people. At First Federal Community Bank, we believe relationships are the foundation of every successful partnership. We can help you grow your farm through various ag programs, including working with our local FSA offices, as well as Farmer Mac. We have many commercial business programs to help make your day-to-day operations easy and convenient. Because when you bank with us, you're not just a customer, you're family.
Before we come back here for the second half, I want to take a second to thank our live and free sponsors tonight. Shout out to Webb's Marathon and Automotive. Stop by Webb's Marathon to join the Webb's Rewards program where you can earn dollars off fuel and free drinks and coffee here in Centerburg. Go Trojans! Also a shout out to Old 30 Barbecue at Centerberg AmVets, at Old 30 Barbecue in Bucyrus. You can catch the game live and free from Old 30 as you get your barbecue right over in Bucyrus. Shout out also to Ohio AmVets Post 59 at Centerburg AmVets Post 59. We honor our veterans, celebrate our community, cheer for the Trojans, and welcome everyone to come enjoy great food and drinks at the club. Monarch Title Services. If you're selling or refinancing your real estate, you get to choose the title company. Why not support those who support the Trojans and close with confidence anytime, anywhere? Shout out to Baker's Pizza in Bucyrus, a place to go after every local game or to watch your favorite team in action. Come join us today and check out our pizza of the month, baked potato pizza. Shout out to Burkhart Farm Center Farmers, serving farmers, 89 homes, building homes, earning trusts since 1979. Buckeye Horizon, tonight's broadcast presented by Buckeye Horizon Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, your local Train Comfort specialist. Also, banking locally just got a little easier with First Federal Community Bank. And shout out to Knox Community Hospital in the community for the community here on the OH Report. We'll step aside and have the third quarter up next.
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain train heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 419-529-2738, your local train comfort specialist.
And we return for your halftime show presented by Webb's Marathon and Automotive here in Centerburg. 14-0 in favor of Colonel Crawford, the 5 seed coming in and really laying the wood so far here to a Centerburg side that has struggled offensively in spurts. They've had some great gains. I feel like if you look at the yard disparity, Crawford obviously they've gone down the field a little bit more than Centerburg, but I don't think the Trojans are too far behind. But those sacks, they've got 4 of them. Colonel Crawford does on the Blaine Ball, the quarterback for the Trojans. Those have all been costly.
Yeah, it's definitely very uncharacteristic of this Centerburg offensive line to allow a sack, let alone 4 of them, which kind of really hindered the Centerburg offense along with the penalties that they've had. We know how good Centerburg is at the halftime, making those adjustments. So we'll see if everything works out for them in the second half, but they got to get things going fast.
Absolutely. Just a couple more minutes before we start the second half here. We'll show you both of the touchdowns that took place to make this a 14-0 game. You're going to see Payton Baker run this in from about 6 yards out to make it 7-0 Colonel Crawford. And then on the other side, you're going to notice familiar face, familiar number on the back of the jersey. Payton Baker, same thing. That time 8 yards. And Crawford, their only 2 scores of the game. Grinded out drives on both sides, and now we see Bron Fravel getting set to kick this away to Colonel Crawford, who will start the second half with the lead and with a little bit of an advantage, getting the first possession of the third quarter.
And those 2 scores by Colonel Crawford have really been way of them able to establish their running game, able to open those things up for Payton Baker to run in. And the offensive line for Colonel Crawford has just been killing it all night long. Basically, no Centerburg defender has been able to get to the ball carrier easily. And those 2 runs, Payton Baker walked right into the end zone.
So Bron Fravel, his first kick of the night. He'll run back 10 yards on it. Leads the Trojan rush. It'll be a squib right to the 42-yard line. Nice catch by number 20, David Reich. And Colonel Crawford Eagles will start with some solid field position. Here's your 89 Homes first down as the Eagles take over with their 2-quarterback system. We saw a good, healthy mix between Braden Holt and then also Payton Baker. Of course, Baker, we showed you, had both of the rushing touchdowns, but also throwing the football. Holt not too bad, and he's going to start out the drive.
Yeah, I said earlier in this game, I love the 2-quarterback system, especially when you have 2 quarterbacks as talented as these 2 young men, really just taking control of this offensive line. It goes to show that this team trusts both of them very much.
First down and 10 on the 42-yard line. They'll give it to Connor McMichael, and the McMonster gains 2.
And McMichael's somebody they used a lot in the first half. Really kind of opened everything up for those big runs. McMichael getting a couple of those big runs himself, using his big body and size to kind of bully his way down the field.
So Connor last week was held at bay somewhat against Mount Gilead. 10 carries, 59 yards, 2 touchdowns, and both in the first quarter. They went his way early. He was able to get some scores. After that, they didn't really need to use him anymore, as he is taken down here for a loss, as it looks like Tommy Haas and a couple of other Centerburg defenders rush in to make it a loss for a 3rd down now.
Yeah, number 8, Tommy Haas, and number 77, Big Angelo Nichols, able to wrap him up for the TFL there. Just a loss of a couple yards, but good start for the Centerburg defense so far.
I'll tell you what, at bay, I'll take that phrase back. 6 yards a carry, not too bad for McMichael. However, there, a loss of 1. 3rd down and 10 with under 11 to go here in the 3rd. Dom Dean barking orders over to the quarterback, Holt, who has trips to the far side. Connor all alone as he's going to get the football here. Broken coverage from Centerburg, and Colonel Crawford going down the near sideline is going to have one of the easiest touchdowns of the season.
Yeah, that right there, they just motioned McMichael out of the backfield from the sidecar on the right side. He was lined up over there on the right hand of that offensive unit. Motioned out to the left, and must just went out there completely unseen because nobody was anywhere within 15 yards of him. And even though he's not the fastest guy, you get that much room, nobody's going to catch you.
My goodness, and nobody even looked to try to cover that area for Centerburg. That is a rough way to go, especially on the first drive coming out of a half where you were probably grilled by your coaches for the 14-0 deficit. And just like that, snap of a finger, Joseph Zizzo cranks through an extra point. He's 3 for 3 on the day, and it is 21-0. I give all the credit on this touchdown to Dom Dean, who sat on the near side on the offensive line in the tight end position, and he barked out something to Holt, and I'm pretty sure he saw that gap in Centerburg's defense.
Yeah, he saw some type of coverage alignment. Maybe one of the defenders was lined up a little different than what they usually do, and Dean calling that out. Hey, hit this hot route on the backside to McMichael, and he's going to be gone. And it clearly worked out for them, bringing the score to 21-0 here to start the second half.
You see head coach Jake Bruner marching the sidelines, loving what he's seeing out of this offense, especially out of the break. 97 alum of Colonel Crawford in his 4th season here at the helm with the Eagles. They lead by 3 scores. And they will kick it off to Centerburg as this home crowd that we stand right behind has gone silent. Can't say the same on the other side. Everybody jumping around for the Eagles. As Zizzo, after knocking down 3 straight extra points, will get us going again. He's now had 61 attempts, has made 58 of those PATs. Launches this one over to Hayden Love, who slips inside the 10. My goodness, Centerburg just falling apart right now as they will start their first drive of the half with horrible field position at the 9.
Marshall on the return down at the 9-yard line. 1st down, Trojans.
Not something that they wanted to see to start the half. Centerburg's got to get their offense rolling here, something that Colonel Crawford's been kind of able to shut down the first half.
Well, Blaine Ball has already been sacked 4 times. He doesn't have much room for error here. As he'll have Marshall to the right sidecar. We'll see if they try to hand this off and get themselves some wiggle room. First drive of the half for the Trojans. Now moving Disiani in motion. Snap, Blaine, short screen play. Caught in plenty of space here for Miles Marshall. Breaks to the near side, and he will get stumbled out of bounds at the 26-yard line.
Marshall able to lay down a stiff arm there on Carson Rader, who was able to push him out of bounds to pick up an extra, looked like 4 or 5 yards there at the end of the carry. Good start so far with the first play here.
Looked like Dom Dean for Colonel Crawford, after calling out that touchdown on the offensive side, nearly put a hand on that ball on the pass to Marshall. Could have broken up the play, but nonetheless, it is a gain of 14. Chains move for Centerburg. They'll do another pop pass, this time out to Jax Ballinger. Had plenty of action early in the game. They go back to him for a nice gain. And make it 2nd down and short.
Yeah, just a designed quick pass, trying to get it out to the big man out on the edge, make him work a little bit. able to pick up some good yards there on that first down play.
They give him 9, move him to the 32. Crawford leads at 21-0 here. Second down and short ball in the Centerburg 32 as the Trojans looking to drive. They've got 5 wide here in this setup. No motions, very rare to see from Centerburg as they look up the middle, and Merklin sees it right through his hands, a little high from his quarterback.
Yeah, it looked like Merklin would have been able to go up and catch that. I think the maybe he wasn't quite expecting the pass, kind of jumped a little late, it looked like. But again, went right through his hands, going to bring up third and looks like 1, maybe a long 1.
But I think I like that out of the Trojans. You pass on second down, you've got a chance to run it forward here to keep the drive alive. We'll see what they draw up again. Eli back in motion, another pop pass, and Marshall drops it. They'll call it incomplete as Degray tries to dive in for a potential fumble recovery, but it was a forward pass. We'll see. That's about as straight on as you can get, but I think it was angling a little bit past where ball was.
Yeah, good on Payne Degray, really chasing the ball down, playing through the whistle. Because those types of situations, even though it was a pretty flat pass, sometimes referees can see a little bit of backwards pass there, and you get huge turnovers like that.
And there's no review, too, so you just got to go play through. 4th down and 1. I think the Trojans need to go for this. And that they will. They'll give it up to Marshall, and he will get that nice first down. So risk works off. Move those chains again, thanks to 89 Holmes. But Miles Marshall, very much like last week, he had all 4 touchdowns, so you got to consider that. But also, you didn't get him with 2 explosive of plays, about 4, 5, 6 yards. I think he had an 18-yard touchdown. That was about the best that we saw from him. But that was kind of a character builder coming into this game as he tries to really handle this Colonel Crawford defense that has kept him at bay to this point. Sits in the right sidecar here for first down and 10. Eli back in motion again. Ball this time on the keeper. Able to get the edge on Degray. Jukes to the right. He's still up on his feet. He gets a first down right to midfield.
Yeah, good on Tommy Haas, able to hold on to this block here out on the edge from the wide receiver spot. Actually held on to it so long that Blaine Ball ran him over because he needed the extra room to get those last couple of yards. Good play here. Good play call here by Centerberg.
It's a gain of 12 for the Trojans as they move forward again. Their 3rd first down of the drive. 9:15 and counting. Another slip on this surface from Centerburg. Ball evades another rusher, has to throw this one away. Avoids getting sacked for a 5th time as we saw a nice one-handed catch by one of the coaches on the sideline.
Yeah, the Ball, I think, is just trying to get the coaches in on the action here tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately, foot out of bounds. 2nd down and 10. 9:05 on the clock. We'll stay there here with 4 receivers, 3 far side. Hayden Lovell alone towards us. Ball will use his offensive line, shift towards the middle of the field, far side, getting towards that first down marker again. He'll be short this time. But, I mean, you're using Blaine a little bit more here. He led the KMAC this season in yards per carry at about 10. That was 9. Makes it 3rd down and 1.
Yeah, Ball just kind of taken over this offense so far in the early portion of the second half. You see him lay the hit stick there right at the end of that run on number 10, Carson Rader.
Give back to Miles. Waits, gets a nice little levy on Bell hop step to get a bigger gain. Something that you like to see, just kind of waiting for your blocks to develop.
Yeah, good run for Marshall. Everything was kind of clogged up there right at the line of scrimmage, but Marshall staying patient, which I think last week's game really helped him kind of sit back and wait for those blocks to develop, which is definitely something that's helped this young man so far tonight.
Clock rolls now after the chains move, 8:20 and counting. Crawford still leads at 21-0. That early touchdown may cost Centerburg if they cannot get all the way back tonight. Out of bodies far side. Shifting to the near end is Ballinger. Ball goes that direction. Follows his blocker, switches field up the middle, gets a nice block, and he's got a beeline for the end zone. And the Trojans are on the board, the Red Army, with the confetti here tonight, celebrating their first score in Week 13.
Great running there by Blaine Ball, but credit to his blockers he had up front. Jax Ballinger taking on Payne Degray. They're right at the line of scrimmage, big on big. Ballinger winning that rep right there, and then everything just kind of opening up for Ball. Lineman downfield, able to lay down some really good blocks for him. Walks right into the end zone.
Yeah, Clark Red at the end really sealed it for the Trojans to get the score, and it's now 21-6, could be 7, depending on the extra point. Interesting because we did not see Centerburg try any extra points last week. And there's a flag here before this try. Brand Fravel knocks it through. Pending still, however, as they'll talk about a potential flag here, and it looks like they motion towards Centerburg.
Looks like they're going to give him the extra point. It looks like it's just a sideline warning on Colonel Crawford.
So that'll make it 21-7. Trojans, they respond offensively. However, that early defensive give up to Crawford still makes it a 14-point game, the same deficit they had going into the locker room. So 21-7. Eagles will get the football back, and now your defense has the pressure passed along to them. Of course, the special team's going to try to get their job done. They like to do those squib kicks, and they have varying success throughout the season.
Yeah, Centerburg, that offensive drive there to start the second half for them. You can tell that they made quite a few adjustments in the halftime locker room. Now it's just on the defense to kind of pick up their end of the stick to help propel Centerburg forward to try to tie this up here a little later in the game.
I mean, look at how the ball is placed on the boot here for Brand Fravel. This tells you he's not taking it long. He is going to be looking for something short again. Squibs it past the second level, running backwards through us to dive on it inside the 20. So job well done there for Brand. First down and 10 for the new drive. Colonel Crawford will make their way out, the number 5 seed here in Division 6 Region 23. Winner of this game here today takes on whoever comes out, a really tough squad, either Fort Fry or West Jefferson.
Yeah, West Jeff and Fort Fry both have really good programs out there this year. But watching Fravel there before that kick, you could tell the way he was lined up, kind of the way he was looking downfield. He was going to kick it right at Payne Degray, try to take advantage of having the big guy up front. Misses mark there a little bit, but still pinned him fairly deep back in their own territory for Colonel Crawford.
So Crawford makes their way out. A wing formation here to start the drive as McMichael takes it, bounces off of the defensive line, and he's got a big gain on the way. Slowed down by the secondary. He's still going, and he is going to run out of bounds with a really nice pickup around the 40-yard line.
And McMichael there, right as he gets to the line of scrimmage, kind of ping-ponged around a little bit there with the Centerburg defensive front. But once he got out into open space, he's still able to make a couple guys miss, but Carter got just a hold of enough of his jersey, able to pull him out of bounds.
And watch out, this is where the McMonster can definitely get you, as he'll get another carry, this time work it to the near side. Not able to be brought down by Ballinger. He ends up slipping to the deck for a 1-yard gain. And it looks like Sean Carter was in the area.
Yeah, it looked like it was just an off-tackle handoff here for McMichael, trying to get him those extra yards. Able to not able to keep his foot in there and slipped up basically right at the line of scrimmage.
Some new bodies out on the field here for the offense. Tice Lyle, the senior, comes in at tight end wearing number 23. And then also Jacob Cochran, who made the first tackle of the game, is out on the far side, but they won't get a play off. There is a flag.
False start on the Eagles.
So false start, 5 yards back. Clock will roll now, under 7 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Both sides have already scored a touchdown in this third frame, as Payton Baker leads the troops for what is 2nd down and 14 after the false start. Weithman moves to motion on the far side. They haven't gone to him very much. They're looking his direction here, though. Baker is going to take it past the line of scrimmage, get a solid gain past the 40. However, he is tripped up a few yards shy, and more than a few, of the first down marker. It'll be 3rd down and medium.
Yeah, right there at the end. It looked like he, while he was trying to make his cut, kind of stutter-stepped a little bit just to avoid slipping again. But Tommy Haas coming up, able to make the tackle around his legs, trip him up, just 3rd and 5.
Halfway through the third frame. 4 receivers here, and Braden Holt back in at quarterback. It's actually going to be 5 receivers as Degray works into the slot. And another whistle and a flag. And is this going to be full start again? Yes, it is. Crawford picking up some laundry here in the third.
Yeah, it looked like they were just trying to get the play off, and not quite all of their offensive linemen were set.
So move them back 5 more yards, and I'll make it 3rd down and 10. So a net gain of 0 in the last 2 plays. They'll keep Holt out there. He'll get McMichael in the sidecar. They'll move Weithman into motion, gets a running start on the play. Short screen, this will be caught. Cochran, plenty of space as well. He's got an entourage again, and Crawford will not get to the end zone, but they are down inside the 10 as Jacob Cochran comes in, makes a big statement in this third quarter.
Huge play there by Crawford, able to get the ball all the way down inside the 10-yard line of Centerberg. But credit to their Payne Degray, giving it all, trying to run downfield, trying to keep up with everybody to lay down a block. Wasn't quite fast enough. Miles Marshall picked up the tackle, but great play overall by Crawford.
And that will make it 1st down and goal, presented to you by 89 Homes. It's the 8th catch of the season for Jacob Cochran. He was over 100 yards. We'll add plenty more to that after a big gain, as Baker is looking for a 3rd rushing touchdown, and he'll be wrapped up about 2 yards short. 2nd down and goal on the way, as Crawford looking to try and make it a 21-point edge again.
Yeah, just a simple inside draw play there for Baker, just trying to punch everything in. Centerburg able to hold him out for now.
Avery Powers coming in, it would appear to block, as that is a big force that they've brought in it back before, 6'4", 200. He will join McMichael in the backfield. Under center goes Baker.
Yeah, you got 6'4", 200, 6 foot 210. McMichael
is in for the touchdown, and McMonster makes it 27-7.
Well, that's a lot of beef coming out of the backfield with those two, 6'4", 200 and 6 foot 210. That's a lot of weight moving downfield.
There's a lot of beef on that side bump we just saw from Tyson Smith on your screen, as he almost knocked over his coach. 27-7, pending the extra point. Zizzo can make it, again, a 21-point lead. PAT number 62 on the year is driven through. Plenty of power behind it as well. Eagles lead it 28-7. We'll take a break, come back live and free here on the OH Report.
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain Trane heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 419-529-2738, your local Trane comfort specialist.
Miles Marshall back to return here for Colonel Crawford, or for Centerberg, along with Hayden Love, as Colonel Crawford scored the last touchdown to make it 28-7. It was a 2-yard rush from Connor McMichael to get his scoring started here in Week 13. He had 2 touchdowns last week, both in the first quarter, against another KMAC foe in Mount Gilead. Zizzo launches this down the field, and Hayden Love had to make an over-the-shoulder catch, ended up bobbling it. Nice bounce to him. He'll get the football back and slide past the 20. Flashy-looking play there from Hayden, as we'll get a new set of downs for Centerberg, and they'll take over the football. Scored a touchdown on their last drive. Colonel Crawford, however, leads it by 21, and just kind of taking a look at history for this Centerberg team, or for this Crawford team against KMAC opposition. This is their 3rd KMAC opponent they've played this year. Mount Gilead is a chunk of those games, but 33-18 their overall as it sits, and it looks like they're looking for win number 34 after this one. Playing ball in the shotgun to start another Centerberg drive. He'll roll to his right. Pressure instantly, throws it down the field, nearly caught by Indiciani. He had 2 hands on the football, just could not haul it in.
Yeah, it was good coverage, even though he didn't actually get a hand on the ball. Number 10, Carson Rader, getting his hand in Indiciani's line of view just enough to throw him off a little bit. The ball goes right through his hands.
That would have been Indiciani's 2nd catch, and both of them would have been really impressive catches, as he was able to get his first earlier on in the game in the first quarter when Ball was facing some pressure, got it out just before Payne Degray brought him down for a sack, and it fell right to the breadbasket for Indiciani with 2 defenders on him. Another check down here. Miles hauls in this catch. He's got some space as well. Gets a nice block from Indiciani. Runs into Ballinger, however, at midfield, and that will halt him there.
Big play there by Marshall. He's not exactly ecstatic about the result of it. He wanted to take it all the way into the end zone. But good on number 12 for Colonel Crawford, John Degray, able to rip off the block of Ballinger just enough to kind of slow everything up so he can make the play there.
It's a gain of 28 to bring him here to the Centerberg 49 with under 4 to go in the third. Ball, quick snap, quick throw. He'll give it off to Hayden Love, a target he has not seen too much of today. Been a great job by Parker Weithman kind of bottling him up in the first half. But however there, the gain of, it looks like 7 will make it 2nd down and 3. But I think coming in, we did not talk enough about this Colonel Crawford secondary that has done a good job up to this point, keeping the passing game at bay. However, is Crawford starting to ease up now as Centerberg drives down the field. Nice patience here from Marshall. However, it will not go for a gain. It's a loss of 1.
And that right there just goes to show how effective so far in the second half that the running game has been for Centerberg, even though they just lost 2 yards on that play. Correction, 1 yard on that play. They've been able to get the rushing game working just enough to where they're kind of pulling everybody up front, opening those passing lanes downfield.
John Degray had the first contact on Marshall as he turned the corner. Weithman also came in to help out with the loss. 3:05 and counting left. Marshall moves to the left side of the field. Ball up the middle, looking for Ballinger. A lot of contact, no flags thrown, and that'll be incomplete. Go for it range certainly here for Centerberg. You can take a look at this again thanks to Monarch Title Services. Nice blanketing defense. I believe, John Degray again. We've said his name multiple times on this drive.
Yeah, it was just good coverage there by Degray. Good on the referee to hold off on throwing the flag. One could make the argument that there was a little bit of pass interference there, but he's letting the players play a little bit, letting them get a little chippy with each other. But overall, I think it was a good call there by the referee not to pull the flag.
4th down and 4. Free rusher at the quarterback. Ball drops out, and he's just going to have to go out of bounds. Not sure what he saw. Well, I guess apparently running out of bounds, he saw nothing. And it'll be a turnover on downs. Looked like he thought he initially saw something, and then it went away, and he just tried to run and just avoided any big hit and takes that turnover on downs. But that's costly here with just about 15 minutes to go in the game.
Yeah, you saw him as he's rolling out. He's pointing downfield, trying to direct his receivers and where to go, where he wants to throw the ball. I don't know if maybe the message wasn't received by the receivers or maybe the Colonel Crawford defense was just too tight on that one. But being forced to run out of bounds to avoid any huge hit, which he's taking quite a few big shots tonight. It's definitely not the way that he wanted that drive to end.
Well, it's the first drive that stalls out and does not get any points. It's been a very offensive third quarter up until that point, as we have 2:55 left on the third quarter clock. Under center, Baker, play action. He's looking down the field. He's got John Degray wide open. Got beat, or was able to beat his man, and he's tackled inside or just outside the red zone at the 21.
There's number 19, Carter Rodebeck, who's on the coverage there on John Degray. Gray just kind of looked like he lost everybody in the mix there. Rodebeck able to make up and make the tackle from behind.
And John Degray everywhere here in the last 2-3 minutes on both sides of the ball. Makes a nice catch, gets him to the 21 now.
You know, we mentioned him a couple times in the first half, but the second half's pretty much been all John Degray.
And that's exciting for Crawford fans because he's just a junior, so he's going to be back for this crew next season. Of course, you lose his star brother on the offensive line and on the defensive line, Payne. Baker, hand to McMichael. Oh, my goodness. A wide open break up the middle for another Connor McMonster touchdown. It is 34-7.
And dare I say, that offensive line opened up a hole big enough you can drive an 18-wheeler through. And McMichael, he is that 18-wheeler with how big he is. There was nobody anywhere near him with it. I mean, a 10-yard, 15-yard radius, nobody even close to him.
And when he runs into the end zone, I see 2 Centerburg Trojans on the screen. My goodness, that is a clinic from this Colonel Crawford offensive line that will get Zizzo back out on the field again.
Zizzo getting an awful lot of work here tonight in Centerburg.
And he's now 5 for 5. It is 35-7, and Crawford, the 5 seed, I don't know about that after this one. 35-7, they lead it over Centerburg here, live and free on the OH Report.
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain train heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 419-529-2738, your local trained comfort specialist.
And we're back from the heart of Ohio, and Colonel Crawford is back in their special teams kickoff formation because they have scored yet another touchdown. It's the second for Connor McMichael of the quarter. Boy, when he strikes quick, as that's back-to-back weeks with multiple touchdowns in a quarter. This ball hops over to Miles Marshall, who breaks it far side and is tackled past the 25-yard line. So the Trojans will take over again, a turnover on downs on their last attempt, as they worked it pretty well down the field all the way up to the 50 at one point, but then it stalled out from there. And now, after that last give up on a beautiful shift by that Crawford offensive line, they're 2 points away from a running clock here.
Yeah, Centerburg starting with not much, but slightly better field position. The 27's a little better than the 20, but they have to get their offense rolling like they did on that first drive of this second half to try to make some type of game out of this.
Ballinger shifts to the near side. Marshall into motion. Ball looking for Ballinger. That was nearly read by Crawford's defense. They nearly got the pick, but it does end up with Jax, and he pushes forward for a first down, presented by 89 Homes. It was number 13, Braden Holt, who almost read the play.
Yeah, that was such a tight pass there for Ballinger to catch. I didn't even think he caught it. I thought Holt either came up with the interception, it was just on top of the ball, or I just didn't see where the ball went. But Ballinger making a great catch there.
Move those chains again. We're at the 41. Rodebeck in motion. He'll be the tight end here as he'll try to help block for Miles Marshall on a quick wraparound. He'll get the first down and more all the way to the Centerberg, or the Colonel Crawford 45.
And Miles Marshall, Centerberg, trying to stick with old reliable that they had last week. Trying to get this offensive unit rolling. So far, able to get a couple good plays out of it.
So 2 plays, 2 first downs. There's Miles on your screen. He's had some decent yardage today, just hasn't been able to find the end zone like he did last week, where he scored all 4 touchdowns for this Trojan offense. Ball caught right at midfield. It'll go back to Miles. He's tripped up from behind. And a dog pile at the end of the play, but tripping him up was, who else? Payne Degray.
That was number 78, Payne Degray, able to make the tackle. And then number 71, Caden Carpenter, 6'10", or 6 foot, 295-pound sophomore. That's a big boy there at the interior of that defensive line, falling on top of Marshall there.
I would go through and try to count how many players 250 pounds plus Crawford has, but I think that'd take me the entire rest of this third quarter. And Disiani catches another screen play. He jukes out Braden Holt and gets to the 25 on a nice play on his second catch of the night.
Again, Payne Degray making the play on that. Downfield, once again, the big fella trying to show off his speed and his agility that he's got.
I mean, that's 6'5", 255, just chasing down and coming at you from behind.
And you just know, as they're running the ball, they can hear those big footsteps coming up from behind them.
I was just about to say.
That's got to be a scary sound.
4 receivers here. They'll chuck one down in double coverage. Weithman going to make the catch in the end zone, and Blaine Ball throws his 5th interception. And 1 of 1 comes down with it.
What a great interception there by Weithman. That ball easily, he could have just let it go, could have just stopped to avoid a complete pass for a touchdown, but he went after the ball over his shoulder, almost like he was catching a touchdown pass, able to bring in the interception, give the offense the ball back on their own 20-yard line.
His 5th interception of the season. Weithman, the senior, brings the offense back out onto the field. They have not used him as a receiver much today, as he's on the sideline right now getting a nice, well-deserved rest. Gets a pat on the helmet from his head coach, Jake Bruner, as he goes to get some water. Bunch formation here. They'll give it to McMichael, who will churn past the 25. One more score for Crawford. It'll be a running clock, and it would be back-to-back weeks against KMAC competition that they were able to do that, as we've got 20 seconds to go here in the third. And it looks like they're going to take it all the way to the end of the third. Coach Bruner already motioning them to the other side of the field, as it is 35-7, and that Colonel Crawford crowd is loving every second of this one here today from the heart of Ohio. It's 35-7. We'll take a break. Come back with Money Time here live and free on the OH Report.
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain Trane heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 419-529-2738, your local trained comfort specialist.
Colonel Crawford on the football here as we start the fourth quarter. They lead at 35-7, and here goes McMichael. He's already got 3 touchdowns today, takes it to the near side, and he's past the second level. Hayden Love brings him down, but not until he is all the way to the 36 of the Trojans. And I mean, the last 20 minutes or so of real time, there's just been a massive shift in Colonel Crawford's favor as they look like they're going to be the ones representing the OH report here in this regional championship game next week against either Fort Fry or West Jefferson, especially with how they're playing and threatening to put a running clock on.
Yeah, we were just talking over the break about that blown coverage play to start the scoring for this second half by or didn't quite start the scoring, but put him in scoring position by McMichael, and right there, another big play for him this time by way of running the ball.
So a passing or a receiving touchdown and 2 rushing touchdowns for Connor. This time they give it to Avery Powers, who powers his way past the 30. Hopefully I have not overused that pun. I'm sure other broadcasters have said that too many times.
Oh, I'm sure it's definitely been used once or twice throughout the year. But that coaching staff there for Colonel Crawford's got to be excited about Powers and how much they've utilized him so far tonight. I'm sure they used him just like that throughout the season. Only a sophomore, I believe. Yeah, a sophomore for Colonel Crawford. So coaching staff there for the Eagles have him for another 2 years to develop him.
This time they'll give it to Rowan Thu. Nearly had some open space, but a nice open field tackle out of Evan Tudor, the senior for Centerberg. Gonna make it 3rd down and shorter. Actually, no, it's first down. My mistake.
Yeah, Rowan Thu, we mentioned a couple times tonight, but really it's just been him going in motion. He's been kind of silent as far as touching the ball goes here for this Eagles offense.
Yeah, he just had 1 catch last week for 9 yards, and that was it. Rowan Thu didn't do too much against Mount Gilead. Hasn't done too much today, but, I mean, 35-7. You can talk to your coach all you want about getting more carries, but, I mean, this is what's working.
Yeah, it seems like he's more of a role player here for this offensive unit.
Payton Baker under center. He'll give it back to the McMonster, who will truck and get about 4. So Colonel Crawford just starting to run down this clock. All 6 timeouts on the board are still usable by both sides. I guess 3 each. And now we get to the point here, Payton, in a 35-7 game that we just start talking about this Centerberg squad and what they've accomplished this year, and just the fact that they come into this. And it was one of my sayings for Centerberg's team is that when are we going to see them kick it into that 3rd gear? It's very much like in Ohio State that we've watched all season long, just kind of roll through teams. They get hit with a little bit of adversity. What are they going to do? And Centerberg, unfortunately, today, they just didn't have it in the cards at this point. As Baker is looking for a 3rd touchdown, he'll take it out at least for a 1st down.
Yeah, you talk about getting that offensive unit into 3rd gear, and tonight definitely would have been the night for that, going up against a team like Colonel Crawford that's not only big physically, but as a D6 team, the amount of numbers that they have on the sidelines, I mean, you look over on that far sideline, and it's just nothing but white jerseys from 25 to basically 25. I mean, just so many kids out to play. They have a lot to utilize. You definitely needed Centerberg to kick it up a notch tonight, and they just haven't really been able to get anything going.
Payton Baker continues to lead the Crawford offense. Back to McMichael as he slides to his rear, and he's going to be taken down for a loss of 1. But McMichael, certainly a McMonster-esque game with a receiving touchdown, 2 rushing touchdowns. He's just been terrorizing this Centerberg defense that has not seen much of this in the KMAC. Of course, it's a very run-heavy team or run-heavy league in the KMAC, but, I mean, there's some very talented backs, but maybe not the offensive lines to match, but that's what Colonel Crawford has, as we're going to see 2nd down and 11, or actually 2nd down and 12. And Holtz now in to hand it off to McMichael. Jukes pass 2, able to break off another as Hagan Bryant can't bring him down, and another sort of slide from McMichael before or after a nice gain. Not quite to the 1st down marker, but 3rd down. But just the talent in running back and Crawford having that line to match.
Yeah, at the running back position, you can definitely see what kind of future that Colonel Crawford has for that specific position group. But with this offensive line pretty much all being seniors, except for the one junior that they have out there, they're going to be losing a lot of talent, a lot of knowledge on the front line there. It makes you wonder, are these younger guys ready to step up for next season?
Holt under center again, back to Connor. And Connor ripped by Red. Just trying to keep him from turning those legs into the end zone. It will get the 1st down. We don't need those chains anymore. 1st down and goal. Touchdown here would make it a running clock with 7.5 to go and counting. Eagles were put through the ringer in the Northern 10 this season, a league I thought was a very top-heavy one. They ended up, their only loss of the year came to Cary on the road. Always a very tough team to go up against. They're also still dancing here in the tournament. Those are the final 2 teams remaining in the tournament. They both shared the N10 title. 1st down and goal to go. They'll give it off to Dom Dean. Is he going to leap in? Yes, he is. So Dom Dean able to get the running clock started here tonight from the heart of Ohio as Crawford continues to plow through Centerburg.
Yeah, Dom Dean, we've seen a lot there at the tight end position tonight. He's actually listed on their roster as a running back, but they really haven't put him in the backfield a ton tonight.
I got him as a fullback.
And really, with how their running attack has worked tonight, they didn't need him in the backfield. Just put him on the offensive line, let him do his work up there.
So the running clock commences, and Zizzo's going to try another PAT. Looks like they're short a man, so they need somebody to run out onto the field. John Degray up for the task. So we'll get the PAT here momentarily. 2nd rushing touchdown of the season for Dom Dean, and it comes here in week 13. Zizzo looking to make it 6 for 6. Not as pretty as the others, a little shorter, but he still knocks it through. It is 42-7. We'll come back, talk shop as the final 6 minutes roll here on Centerberg's season. Here live and free on the OH Report.
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain Trane heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 419-529-2738, your local Trane comfort specialist.
(42-7), definitely not the score many were expecting coming into today as Zizzo kicks us off over towards Hayden Love. He'll get another return. He slips. It's been a very common trend for Centerberg today on this Bermuda grass as he's taken out before the 30. So Centerberg's offense will trot out likely for one final time as we are in a running clock situation in a 42-7 game. But just kind of talking shop a little bit. I did see a comment as I was checking during the break. Cary right now leading Paulding 28-0 as the N10 representing as their top-heavy group, as I said, in the league, continues to roll. Looks like 2 teams in the Northern 10 will dance to the Elite 8. We'll show you the standings here after this play. As Blaine Ball in an empty backfield. We'll take it up the middle of the field, and Payne Degray wraps him up. But yeah, taking a look at those N10 standings this year, Crawford and Carey right at the top. Crawford will move to 12-1 on the year. They split. Crawford actually lost to Carey. Carey lost, I believe, to Mohawk. I don't know the N10 too well, but I believe that was the upset there that really split things up. But both of those teams going to be heading into the Elite 8. Second down here on the field as Coach Bruner's talking with some officials.
Yeah, I believe the head referee saw something he didn't like there at the end of that play. Sent that player off to the sidelines to have a chat with Coach Bruner and let the coaching staff kind of handle that one on their own without throwing a penalty flag here late in the game.
I believe the clock stopped momentarily for that whole ordeal. So it is a running clock, but some things will stop it as Ball chucks one down the field, nearly found a target.
He's looking for number 80, Jaden Joyner, the 6'1 junior for Centerburg, somebody that's not used very often. But he had a pretty good position there if Ball was able to place the pass where it needed to be.
On your screen, we showed the N10 standings. Here's the KMAC standings. Centerburg finished first in the league, and Danville, a team that finished 5th in a tightly contested KMAC, is still dancing as well, and they lead over Waterford in a Sweet 16 game in Division 7.
Yeah, I actually have an updated score for that. We just saw 12-7. We saw them score, but it's now 19-14 in Danville's favor.
Ball steps up in the pocket on 3rd down and medium. He'll use his legs, stiff arm a defender. However, that defender holds on and drags him down. There's a flag on the field, however.
That was a good stiff arm there by Ball. And looks like Carson Rader able to hold on for the tackle. Looks like they're calling a horse collar on.
It's actually Madden Tesso, number 22, who was able to make a nice tackle.
I'm sorry, you're correct. It was Tesso, number 22. I saw Rader walking away from the play, and I was thinking he was the one to make the tackle, but.
And I just saw Tesso walk past John Degray, and I think that was very, very interesting for sure, because Madden stands just 5'8", and of course John up towards 6'3". But still, man in that linebacker position well. Tesso able to bring down Blaine Ball. First down and 10 here as he'll chuck it to the sideline. Can't find anybody there. Intended for Indiciani. Second down. It's a great season for Centerburg. They were able to get a playoff win that has evaded them in recent years. Last week against Ridgewood, however, their season will come to an end tonight at the hands of Colonel Crawford. Under 3 minutes to go here, and second down and 10 on the reset. And it will end some really good careers. KMAC Player of the Year, Blaine Ball at quarterback, will not return for this team next year, but they still bring back some great talent. We'll get to that here after second down and 10. Ball steps up again. Throw on the run. Indiciani, his 3rd catch of the day. He slips underneath Cochran, who makes the tackle inside the 30. But, I mean, looking at Centerburg, you've got Miles Marshall, who is going to be a senior next year. Could have very well been the KMAC Player of the Year. They went with Blaine instead, however. And then also the D1 recruit, Jackson Ballinger, who stands at tight end for this group.
Yeah, they're losing a lot of talent, a lot of knowledge there for Centerburg. But they got a lot of guys that got quite a bit of playing time this year, definitely have the experience they'll be able to carry into next year. You see Ball throw down the field.
And there goes Indiciani again, knocked out at the 5 with under 2 minutes to go. But the Trojans looking to put something on the board here at the end.
Yeah, Centerburg trying to get one last score in before the end of the game here with
there's your guy, Rader, with a nice big
45. Hit. Yeah, Rader laying the wood on Indiciani, punishing him for catching that ball.
Indiciani for this group, just a sophomore. He's gotten great reps as a blocking receiver, a couple catches today. Throw here to Marshall as he'll look to try and get to the end zone. He's been held out all game long. He's down at the 1 here. Make it second down and goal. They'll actually mark him at the 2. But if Marshall can get into the end zone, it would be his 29th of the year.
This senior class for Centerburg has just been so impressive. Virtually their entire high school careers, but this year are able to put something really special here in Centerburg together.
Ball nearly slips, tries to go to the end zone. He is stuffed by Crawford, and the running clock. Centerburg's going to have to hurry up if they want to put some points on the board here. It's now 3rd down and goal. Eagles make the stand there. Ball's at the 1.
Yeah, Ball definitely would have been able to get in the end zone on that. He had a wall of red jerseys in front of him, but that slip slowed him up just enough to where he couldn't get in.
25 seconds left. Throw out to Marshall. He's got a couple blockers. He will dive in to the end zone, and the Trojans are able to get back on the board. It is a 29th touchdown for the junior, Miles Marshall. 5 touchdowns in this postseason. This one will be the last as the clock stops with 20 seconds to go for a PAT attempt. But once we kick things back off after this, that'll do it. Brand Fravel will do the PAT. And it is no good. So that will likely make the final score tonight 42-13 as the Trojans will walk back to their sideline for one final time this season. Certainly not what the Trojans were expecting tonight. They can hang their heads high, however, putting their all to the very end, getting a score on the board. And now Brand Fravel will stay out and kick this away, and the running clock will commence at his boot.
Yeah, looking down the sidelines here, number 10, Blaine Ball, all by himself, kind of kneeled down, giving a couple of knuckle bumps to these younger kids that really look up to this varsity team. Ball definitely very upset about how the game has gone tonight. But it's hard to be upset, even though the score didn't go the way that they wanted to. This Centerberg team has really put one heck of a season together, one heck of a career for these seniors, and really fought to the end here, as you see, picking up another score, 20 seconds left in the game.
We'll kick this short. Nice hop, takes it all the way to the sideline, and Raider, very fitting player to put us likely to an end as 17 seconds left. Clock will roll. Both teams ready to shake it up after a really, really good performance out of the Colonel Crawford Eagles, who complete the 5-1 upset to advance to a regional championship next week. They will face the winner of Fort Fry and West Jefferson. 42-13, your final score. The Trojans end their season at 10-2, as it looks like a false alarm here. They do want the players to make their way back out and knee it at least once here. Victory formation. You'll never complain that you get to do this, as Holt will take the snap, knee it, and the confetti flies for Crawford. For real this time, 42-13, Crawford over Centerberg. Regional championship coming up next. Week 14 for the N10 will look nice and sweet, as it looks like 2 Northern 10 schools will get to compete next week. We'll take a break, come back. Your MVP tonight is number 78, Payne Degray. He'll join us upstairs, live and free on the OH Report.
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain Trane heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 419-529-2738, your local Trane comfort specialist.
Farmall. 100 years of can-do. 100 years of milestones. 100 years of family. Generation after generation, its legacy lives on. The one for all since 1923.
I'm Steve Krall, president of First Federal Community Bank. And here at First Federal Community Bank, our playbook consists of the 3 C's: care, curiosity, and courage. Just like your team, our 3 C's strengthen our communities and our team here at First Federal Community Bank. On behalf of our team here at First Federal, we want to wish all of our area teams and coaches the best of luck this season. Yes!
From primary care to orthopedics, women's health, to pain management, the Knox Community Hospital Centerberg Health and Wellness Center provides excellent care for virtually all your family's healthcare needs. Comprehensive lab services are also offered at our state-of-the-art facility, podiatry and surgical consultations too. The Centerberg Health and Wellness Center. It's a world of great care right around the corner.
pizza MVP. The Heart of Ohio turned into the House of Payne tonight. So Payne Degray here with us today. Congratulations. You took care of business against a really good Centerburg side. You jumped out a great first half lead. Second half, you had that big offensive touchdown with McMichael as he was able to break Centerburg's coverage. Just take me through the moment that you guys really thought that business was taken care of here tonight.
Well, before the game, we took it as a challenge. Coming out, all the pools had us losing to them. We always love to beat underdogs. Bruner says it. We say it in the locker room all the time. Road dog mentality here. So we wanted to come out, lay it on them right away. We got up on them, but probably one of the best things about us is we keep it going into the second half, and we started off. Unbelievable throw by, I'm pretty sure Braden threw it. Unbelievable catch by Connor. I love those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And then talked about Coach Bruner. Of course, this is the best run you guys have had since he's really been in the program. They've made it this far back in 2022, but you guys are looking to go further. What's it going to take from this group?
Well, I give it all to the off-season lifting that our coaches do. Football and basketball-wise, we're blessed to be put into the same position for basketball last year. It's all the work we put in the off-season, nothing else. Coaching, unbelievable, and then our guys just buying in. We had that one stump at Cary, and ever since then, we took a mentality of just keep it rolling, let's go, play another week.
Well, yeah, and that loss to Cary, they're also going to be dancing in the Elite Eight as well. They took care of business against Paulding. But just kind of take me through as you get ready for next week. Just shout out a couple guys that did their thing here tonight.
The whole O-line, they were total dogs tonight. The positivity out there, the whole field, even when we gave up the touchdown, like the next play mentality, that's always huge. PB stepped up tonight. His runs were unbelievable up the middle, and then like Braden always does a great job passing the ball. And then just Connor runs the ball so hard. Miller says it all the time, our offensive line coach. Who wouldn't want to block for a running back that runs that hard? So I'd die for him out there on the line, just as I'm sure all four of us else would.
Well, you're going to be tested next week, that's for sure, in a regional championship game. I also want to send you like a screenshot of McMichael's touchdown up the middle earlier on in the third quarter, because there's a frame where nobody was in the area for Centerberg, and that's all props to you guys on the offensive line. Well, just to get you out of here, go ahead and look in that camera. Any more shout-outs you want to give?
I'd like to shout out God. I'd like to shout out all my family. They always show up to all my events. I love you guys. I'd like to shout out Brooke Frombaugh, my girlfriend. And also I'd like to shout out her mom, Tracy Frombaugh, give me cookie points.
Cookie points?
Yeah, cookie points.
Well, congratulations to you, our OH.REPORT player of the game. Got a $20 gift card to Baker's Pizza. You can take that home with you as well. Congratulations.
Thank you.
From primary care to orthopedics, women's health to pain management, the Knox Community Hospital Centerberg Health and Wellness Center provides excellent care for virtually all your family's healthcare needs. Comprehensive lab services are also offered at our state-of-the-art facility. Podiatry and surgical consultations too. The Centerberg Health and Wellness Center. It's a world of great care right around the corner.
What a game tonight. If you're a Colonel Crawford Eagle fan, at least 42-13, they take down Centerberg. Big upset, 5-1 here in the seedings, and Crawford's going to be dancing their way to a regional championship game. I haven't seen a score update. I should have looked during the break, but I didn't. But between Fort Fry and West Jefferson, Fort Fry, the higher seed there, they're projected to win it, but I can't really say for sure. But whoever they play, it's going to be a tough battle. I'm sure they're pulling for West Jeff just so it can be a shorter drive, just like these last 2 weeks have been, taking down two KMAC powerhouses in Mount Gilead and Centerberg in convincing fashion at that.
Yeah, Colonel Crawford really kind of came out tonight and punched Centerberg in the mouth from the get-go. And once they got on the gas, they never let off until that final whistle blew. Credit to this Eagles team, especially to Payne Degray, our MVP tonight, just kind of really taking hold of that line of scrimmage and controlling it throughout the entire game.
I hope he enjoys those cookie points, apparently, from Brooke Frombaugh's girlfriend, or Brooke Frombaugh's mom, his girlfriend. So I bet those cookies are probably different because he seemed like he was determined to get them tonight, the way he was playing defensively.
Yeah, his girlfriend's mom definitely said something about getting a shout-out tonight if he was the MVP, so he's fulfilling his promise here tonight.
Well, Crawford moves on. They'll move to 12-1 on the season, and then Centerburg, they end their season, of course, 10-2. But just to kind of talk about them, of course, it's been an honor and a privilege. I believe this was my seventh my seventh Centerburg game I got to cover this year. Great hosts, great for us to be here. We look forward to coming back next year to a squad that I think could go even further with the talent they bring back.
Yeah, they got a lot of good kids in their junior and sophomore class. It's going to really kind of pick up where this senior class has left off to kind of carry the torch for the Centerburg unit. And as we allowed Payne Degray to get his own shout-out, I want to give a little shout-out to my wife. Really kind of supported me throughout the season, my first year with the OH Report. And again, thank you to Jonathon and to Brian and Jory at the OH Report for giving me this opportunity. It's been great, and can't wait to come back next year.
Absolutely. That's going to be it for Payton, of course, this year. We added this one late just because we had so many teams in action here in this regional semifinal, so much to cover. We were grateful to get here to Centerburg. My final shout-outs as well go into Rich Porter, the athletic director for Centerburg, helping us out, grabbing MVPs all season long. Also a shout-out to Rusty, the PA announcer, who I got to talk to tonight, and then also Tim as well, who joined us up here all season long. Great hospitality from Centerburg High School. Shout out to all of your sponsors bringing you tonight's live and free coverage as well. A mix of Centerburg and Colonel Crawford faithful sponsors. We look forward to working with them in the future to bring you more games like this here on the OH Report. Payne Degray with a big tackle right there on your screen. He was your player of the game tonight. Wins a $20 gift card thanks to Baker's Pizza. I'm Jonathon Langdon signing off one final time. Brandon Powell, your camera operator. Payton Colopy, my color analyst, all season long. Have a great rest of your night. We will see you on the Pigskin tonight and for plenty regional championship action on week 14.